だがそれでもなぜと言わざるを得ないこともある。君の本質は戦いの中にこそあり、君自身本心では自らの力、そのパワーに惹かれているにもかかわらず、どういうわけか自分を偽ろうとして力を抑えようとしている。なぜだ、なぜだ。そうしていてもお前はただ死にゆくのみ、何も得られない無意味な死だ。行くな。力とは行使して初めて意味を持つ。より強い力、それを持つ者、あるいはそれ自身。世が求めるのは常にそれだ。誰もがより強くありたいと思い、より強い力を求める。何も腕力だけが力ではない。貧しい者より富める者、醜い者より美しい者、誰しも人と己を比べ、わずかでも自分が勝っていれば安心する。そしていつしか己より優れたものを疎ましく感じてくる。存在を許せなくなる。争う。美しさで勝てなければ財力で、それでもダメなら暴力で。その争いのエネルギーこそが世界の動力、世界の要。私はほんの少しその手伝いをしているに過ぎない。争いのエネルギー、破壊のパワー、誰もが抱えるその力は、私が軽く手を加えてやればたちまちこぼれ出し、止めどなく溢れていく。それはいくら組んでも枯れることのない井戸、永遠に掘り尽くせない鉱脈。それを竜。
What's going on, bro?
That was fucking excellent. That was fucking good.
Now, just full disclosure, I am not overreacting like a lot of people are. I just saw the overreaction. I thought, you know what, I'll illustrate it in the meme.
That summed it up perfectly. You should tweet that. You should definitely tweet that. That's a good one.
I'll put it up there. I think Tom's here as well. No, actually. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Oh, you're muted, bro. Still muted. Well, whilst Tom's getting his audio sorted out, what do you think about the whole situation, bro? What do you think about Capcom doing this?
I think about Pokemon. Oh,
yeah,
there we go.
All right, perfect.
Just the Pokemon meme. If you're broke, just say so. That's literally all I think about it.
Is that all you think of it?
Legit. I think before that was just a meme, but then I found out that they're releasing the VODs for everyone for free the week after. So
right, okay.
Pay to see it live, get your money up, not your funny up, innit? I don't know. It's just
all right. Well, Tom, what do you think? What do you think about Capcom charging the pay-per-view pricing now?
I think the fighting game world still doesn't understand how money works. All this money is being paid out from a pool of what? Where are they getting this money? Right? The worst investment in the world is a fighting game player. You want to lose money? Invest in fighting games and fighting game players. It's a system in which its customers are its players. How do the FGC make money? Players come, pay to go to events. Its customers are its player base. The only way it can make money is by charging the people that play them. And why, that's it. So when you start paying out all this money, it's like, how are we going to get a return? Players only think, oh, look at all the money on the line. Okay, but eventually somebody, unless they're going to just, who knows what they're going to do with it, eventually someone's going to say, but how do I make money back from this? And how does Capcom make its money? Because they're looking at it, they say, well, we're going to make money off our sales, whether we do a tournament or not. People are going to buy Street Fighter. So how do we now make money for the money we're paying out.
Can I add on what Tom was saying, like really quick? I did a little bit of research, and I'm not a business head. Tom can probably clarify this, but when people think about Capcom charging it, I think that's wrong. It's like the esports branch of Street Fighter, because Resident Evil money would make it so we wouldn't have to do the pay-per-view. But Street Fighter has to live on its own from the money that Street Fighter makes. And then it's in the esports industry. So it's not really about how many copies did Street Fighter sell. It's how much does Street Fighter make in esports. And they already
so
spent
it's a separate
$2
division
million
from the gaming.
Yeah.
What's that?
So it's well, again, the main issue is it's like we know how Capcom, the main Capcom, makes its money from they make games, they sell games, they make profit, right? Minus overhead, right? There's your profit. But who's funding the esports branch?
Exactly.
And whoever's funding it is like, it's a loss. We're always losing. It's a loss.
I looked into it, and there's a company called PFI. It's like a Saudi company, and they invested in 2022, and that seems to be when they got $1 million for CBT. So I think they got, I don't know, but I think they got invested by PFI. Then they went, oh, here's $1 million for CBT. They've done that twice now. And I thought, well, they've got loads of money. Why do the pay-per-view? Then I found out that that was an investment from them to do the prize pot. So it's not $1 million from Capcom.
Now
or
it
from
makes
Street
sense.
Fighter.
So here's what I'm seeing from Saudi. The only way to make money is to make sure that no other competitors do it for free. So buy everything one by one, and then you monopolize all of it. And it doesn't matter if they can do this then one by one. It doesn't matter if it's City of the Wolves, Street Fighter, whatever. You don't get to watch it unless you pay me.
But also, have you guys realized that they've been doing the pay-per-view model since Street Fighter 5, apparently, with the Street Fighter League. They did it last year as well. And I didn't know this until yesterday, because I watched Chris F and I watched Maximilian. I had no idea that Street Fighter players in Japan are basically celebrities now, and their YouTube channels are pulling in views that eclipse Maximilian. Like Tokido is getting like 200,000 to 500,000 views for nothing. They're sitting in front of the camera watching C Viper, or they're doing a bit of training. They're doing celebrity meet and greets there. Like, I think Street Fighter is in a different universe in Japan, and it's gotten to the point now where they don't need the international market anymore. The Japanese have really said that they've really proven that they're happy to pay for the model. So if they've got all that viewership and all of these celebrities that want to get involved, and players now being seen as celebrities, why would they give it for free?
Exactly. And I just want to point out about this. For all the people out there, Foxy Grandpa and others like him, and I would love for some of these people to come on this today because I'm not holding it back at all. Like, do you remember when I needed the FGC, I had to walk on eggshells. But like the Joker said to Batman, now you have nothing to threaten me with. So I can do what I want when I want. And what are you going to threaten me with? Most of you are in my DM asking me for money anyway. You have nothing to threaten me with at all.
Oh, we going there, yeah?
No, not yet. No. But I'm just saying that I have no reason to be afraid anymore. They have no power over me. Mm-hmm. But let me just say this. When it used to always be talking about like people over here in the West, that's what I always say. People in the West do not give a fuck about fighting games or fighting game players. Over there in the East, it's a different world. So when people say, look at these older guys, they're playing, they're making money, this and that. If they were American players, they would be flat broke. Even if you're a Street Fighter player over here in the West, nobody cares about you. But over here, over in Japan, those players are doing well. And you can monetize things over there because you have a viewer base. These people are celebrities over there. So you can monetize stuff like that. Players can get endorsements that you couldn't get over here in the West. But if you're a player over there in the East, like in Japan, you can. And you can live very well. And there's kind of like a pool, like people will pay to see you, pay to watch you. That doesn't exist over here. And I think
now we know why Tokido was smiling so much at that VF announcement, because that announcement was terrible. But Tokido was smiling ear to ear. He's making bank off of Street Fighter. Like, if you're a Japanese Street Fighter player and you're even mildly good at the game, you're actually making it.
Yeah, because you're a celebrity over there,
Yeah.
and you have that type of status. And I think what the Saudis are trying to do is figure out a mystery that no one's been able to solve. For years, for over 20 years, you've had these sponsors and leagues saying, we know gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry, but no one has really figured out a way to run these competitive gaming leagues and pull any of these millions and billions of dollars, in revenue from not just game sales, because obviously that goes to the company, but how can I capitalize on how big gaming is? And they hold tournaments and events, and they're just not able to do that. And I think Saudi has realized, if you look at pro leagues like a World Cup soccer, the television rights are a massive part of the money they make, right? NFL, NBA, the TV deals are massive. It's very difficult to sell a product or to make money when you can't pack a stadium, like a massive one. You can't, there's no television rights, there's no TV deals, no pay-per-view. All the way things were making money from television, ad revenue, pay-per-view, gaming doesn't have and that's a massive chunk of money. Can you imagine the WWE if you remove pay-per-view sales and make their house sales almost nothing? That's the FGC. So Saudi realizes, obviously, you don't have that kind of money by being an idiot. So they realize we've got to start capitalizing on a lot of this money, and there's no other way to do it.
Yeah, I think, like, obviously I was looking for, because I like Street Fighter 6. I think it's a good game. I was looking forward to streaming it and sitting here and watching it. But I completely understand why they've gone down this road. If it's that big in Japan to the point where you have had people paying to watch it already, they were paying to a Street Fighter 5, which was not Street Fighter's best moment. And now Street Fighter 6 is blowing up to the point where, like, the whole country's playing the game. I know people are upset about it, but I think people need to realize that we actually don't matter in this situation. Like, the Japanese have basically outpriced us. Like, we're so insignificant in this. Have any of you gone to, like, Kawano's page or Tokido's page and seen the views on their videos?
Yeah.
It's insane.
I remember Jammers told me about it. He was like, you don't understand how, this was like before the whole pay-per-view thing. Jammers used to tell me about, like, how big the players are in Japan. I was like, that's probably not much bigger than everywhere else, right? He's like, no. So he said from Street Fighter 6, like the last 2 years, something completely changed. Like, Street Fighter is on the level of, like, I don't know, League of Legends in Japan. Like, everyone knows it. It's not like it's not even a niche fighting game. It's a game. They don't put the, like, title of fighting game on it. It's just a game that a lot of people play. That's it.
Yeah, I got in contact with my friend in Osaka today because he was telling me that there was, like, a lot of protests going on. So while we were talking, I was like, by the way, what's Street Fighter 6? How's Street Fighter 6 doing out there? And he was like, bro, you can't, like, turn a corner without it's like he's, like, when I went to Japan, everywhere you go, you saw Pokemon. He was kind of describing it like that to me. Everywhere you go, you see Ryu and Chun-Li now. Like, you see them on posters. He said to me, some places that were predominantly Gundam have now, like, halved their space with Street Fighter. So Street Fighter sort of shoved its way in there. He said you go into some random stores, they have, like, vintage Street Fighter stuff, or, like, you go to someone's house, they're playing Street Fighter. You go to a house party, Street Fighter's there. Said he went to a DJ set, they were playing Street Fighter music. So it's just taken over.
That is wild.
Yeah. And the Saudis are smart with this. They recognize, like, we have a market where people are looked at as celebrities, and we can monetize that. And that's kind of how they see it. And they look at it. It may not catch on in the West yet, but it will catch on there. And money is still money. And eventually, the more regions this becomes normal practice, you start like this, and it's pay, and a week later for free. But then eventually it moves to, now we own everything. There's big money if winning stuff because we're putting money into it, but we need to make some money back too. Nothing is free. You're going to watch it and it's going to be pay-per-view. It's going to be X, Y, or Z, right? And that's kind of the route it's going. I mean, there's really no other way for these people that are putting massive sums of money in that they're going to recoup any part of it. They're not just thinking we're going to put in millions of dollars and have no strategy on how to make a profit from this. There's no reason for them to do this.
I think on top of that, Tom, there's an element of it's weird because there's an avenue in Asia that they don't have, which is tournaments. Like tournament winnings isn't the same as it is in the West. They need a license to do that. So their players can't even just be the best and win tournaments to earn money. So maybe it's a culture thing where they're like, well, the only way their top players can make money and revenue is through streaming. But the West are never going to jump on board. I commentate weekly online tournaments. I have to plead with viewers to do Matcherino. That's basically legal money laundering. How can I not get people to make money out of nothing for players? So I agree with Tom when they say they don't give a fuck about the players, because I shouldn't have to tell people, click 3 times and the winner of this tournament gets money and you don't have to do anything out of your pocket. Nothing has to come out your PayPal account. We have to plead on a daily basis to do that. It might be a culture thing.
Is that claim code thing?
Yeah, the Matcherino. Yeah, that's all it is.
Do you know what? That always spins me because I take part in some anime tournaments, and I took part in Globe Cruise tournament. And although they did end up clicking the code, we managed to get up to $700. It was such a they were saying it constantly. You just got to click it. You ain't got to spend anything. The players will get paid. You know, they probably can do more of these if the players are getting paid. And it took like the whole tournament to get everybody to use all the codes.
It's disgusting. It's actually disgusting when you think about it. This whole grassroots thing, we've got a way to print money, and this is what? How old is Matcherino? It's got to be like 4 or 5 years old, maybe even more. And we're still having to tell people to do it. Despicable. The scene is cooked. Yeah. The scene is cooked, bro.
I think the grassroots thing, it's just a meme. I don't think most people, because there's like support your grassroots and also like community building stuff that you can do, which is why like I try to do the beef sets. I try to do like the shambolic showdowns because that's online stuff you can support the game with. But a lot of people just they complain, and rightfully so. I complain as well, but I think if you're gonna do something for the scene, that is probably the best way to do it. And I feel terrible asking people claim a code that's free. You're not pay. I'm not asking you for money. I don't want your money. I'm saying for the people that are playing, to support them, so that when we do a stream next week, I'm not asking the viewers, yo, pay Shinblade $100 for his time. I'm just saying, click on the code. It's free. Everyone's happy, and that is a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting.
But, yeah, Tom's not wrong.
The good news is, Mortal Kombat players, you're safe because not even Saudis want to buy you. You're safe. Don't worry. Nobody wants to put $1 into you. You guys can't even get a venue where a fan isn't going to fall on somebody. I mean,
what happened there? Like, did a fan actually drop on somebody's head?
That's the rumor. Wow. What do you expect, man? As they didn't want to do it anyway. They threw that, and I know some idiot is going to say, and by idiots, I'll name them all later. They were doing it for the players. No. This is why it's so hard to talk to the FGC, because they don't understand money or business. Here you have no news of Combat Pack, no news of Pro Series Season 2. And then all of a sudden, 1 month after Chaos Reigns comes out, you have Fate Unknown who says, it's over. Nobody's buying it anymore. WB said, it's over. But you're NRS, you're like, we still want it to sell. So what do they immediately do to kind of sleight of hand? Pro Series 2. What do players say? Is it really over? This guy he doesn't know what he's doing. You remember, Mike, the NRS community created some fantasy game where NRS was playing cloak and dagger spy games, feeding bad information to multiple leakers to bust the leak instead of just admitting it's over. It's over. NRS did that move just so maybe it's over, maybe it's not. Of course, they're still supporting the game. They're doing a Pro Series 2. No. If Warner Brothers, now we know they pulled the plug and money was the issue, they certainly don't want to say, hey, did anybody got $200,000 lying around to throw that into a pot, as well as money for players to fly out, venues? No, staff, they damn sure don't want to do that. It was, what's the cheapest we can do everything? just so, and probably NRS was like, yeah, if we do this, NRS still wants the game to sell. Obviously, we can do this, do it as cheap as humanly possible. Chaos Reigns hopefully will sell a little better. At least we maximize on the profits on the content we've already got coming out. And that was it. They didn't want it. They held it in Mexico. Why? So it could be done cheapest, cheaper than probably most places here in the US. The venue also wasn't very good. The way it was ran weren't very good. Tons of issues. And to make it best, on HBO Max, your winner also, by the way, says, I don't even like this game.
I could not believe that. Did you see that?
Yeah. No, I thought Tom was taking the piss. He actually
I gave you the tweet. If you want to.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was watching it in disbelief because he was talking. Obviously, I didn't understand. So I said to my assistant, "What the hell is he talking about?" And he's basically saying, "Yeah, this game, it ain't that. I'm just playing it." Couldn't believe it.
I mean, but they didn't want it to happen. That event was never, it was just something they slapped together, like, okay, content is over. The leaker came out. What are we going to do? Let's go ahead and announce season 2. What did you think they were going to do? Roll out the red carpet? And the thing is, this is what NRS does. You see, the problem is when you have trained a company that you can do anything and their bottom line will never be affected, they will say, we will do anything until our bottom line is affected. Here we go. Good.
Take a listen to this.
Al principio a mí no, o sea, nunca me gustó este juego y o sea, después tuve malos resultados, no llegaba a veces ni a top 3, pero ahora me alegro de haber ganado. Esto se siente como un sueño y eso es gracias porque dieron frutos los entrenamientos con mi hermano y me alegra mucho haber ganado.
Now, if you can see that shadow there, that is Ed Boon standing right next to him as he's saying this, as he's literally saying that I don't even like this game.
Yeah,
you're world champion
with a smile on his face.
Yeah, but see, Ed Boon, like I said, they try to ignore a lot of stuff. And here's the real truth here. So when you have a company trained that we can do anything, we put out a garbage product in MK11, completely unfinished. It sold God knows how many copies. COVID had a huge deal to do with that. But seeing how upset people were the last 2 years of MK11, they said, we can slap anything out and they'll still buy it because it's Mortal Kombat. Then they gave you a horrible product, just as an overall product in MK1. And what do you hear? Still outsold everything else, 6.2 million, topping the PlayStation player charts more than any other fighting game. This is the stuff you hear. And then you have Final Kombat. And people are like, why would they do this? Where have they ever seen consequences for terrible service products ever? Never. They know we can do anything and you guys will just eat it up and we'll make the next game. You guys don't give a fuck. If it's good, it'll sell 10 million. If it's average, it'll sell 7 or 8. And we'll still say, hey, we put up, they do events half-ass. We saw this one. And their games are now just not to make good games, to make as much money as we can in a short period of time, move on to the next one. That kind of practice is, I just don't understand why anyone thinks it's going to be different.
Let me ask C4 about the Sonic Fox situation. I'll give my thoughts after. I don't know if you're aware of what happened to Sonic Fox at the tournament.
Yeah, I saw.
It's a point of contention for a lot of people.
Really? I think it's...
Yeah. A lot of people are dunking on him for it.
PL's hot about that, by the way, because we all know if it was PL, what they would say.
I saw the PL tweet. That's what I didn't know until I saw the PL tweet, and I was like,
yeah. If PL said this, excuses, etc. Go ahead, let C4 talk about it, and you can weigh in. And I have a lot to say about it.
So from what I've heard, they were pretty disappointed with how the tournament ran. So much so that they didn't go to the award ceremony. And then I saw the clip of their match getting interrupted because of an audio issue. Mm-hmm. And I thought, it might be in between rounds or sets. It was like, no, it was like the middle of the game. I would have just walked out of the venue, to be honest. The middle of a game, that's taking the piss. That is just
Yeah,
go without the audio until the next round or the next game.
Yeah,
that's what I would think.
I'll give my thoughts before Tom does. I've sent the link to Pio as well because he did want to come on and talk about this. I know he's got a lot to say, but even look, I know some people think that I was gonna like dunk on Sonic Fox. I'm actually on his side on this one. I think what they did to him was pretty shitty. You're in the middle of a game, and you know maybe it's a good back and forth. Maybe you're winning, and then they stop you. That can kill your momentum. Like I've been in situations before where I've been winning, and then like maybe the power's cut, or there's been a massive spike of lag, and then the momentum just shifts. It gives the other person a chance to breathe and be like, "Yo, okay, he was beating me up here. I can change things around." So Sonic Fox being angry at what happened and walking out in a world championship, I get it. I completely understand. I know people saying it's distasteful. Oh, he's salty that he lost. I would be salty if I lost that way as well. You've got ceiling tiles and fans dropping on people, and now you're interrupting me while I'm playing a game. So no, as much as people might dislike Sonic Fox or whatever your feelings are towards him, I think you have to be fair. We would all be pissed if that happened to us. I would fucking throw a fit if I've like worked my way to get to Final Kombat and you've just done that to me. If we're playing and the players are fine, then fuck the viewers and the people on HBO. Like, let me finish. You should have got your shit together to begin with. That's not my problem. Now you've made it my problem and you want me to come to your award ceremony. Nah, win
or lose. Win or lose, I think any competitive player would have done the same thing. Even if you win, you'd be like, you guys are taking the piss. It's not about me winning or going further in the tournament. It's about you're disturbing competition. That's it.
Clearly, I would think that HBO put some money to get that. There had to be some form of a television or stream deal, right?
Must have been.
Right. So, okay. Another reason why we can't hold the FGC ever accountable is because no one actually know where the money comes from or who's paying what, or who's making what. So, but on this Sonic Fox thing, Sonic Fox is justified in what he said. I agree with you. However, stuff like this happens to people all the time. The venue is bad. Situations are mishandled. The way the tournament is ran is bad. But when they say it, nobody fucking cares. Sonic says it, and oh my gosh, can you believe it? He's justified. People say this. Had it been PL that said, there have been tournaments in which PL has said, hey, stop. What's going on? The monitor's like this, that. These headphones don't work. What's going on? And they vilify him and say, oh, you need sound. All these people. And PL's like, hey, listen, you didn't charge me $10 like the old days when you guys didn't have any sound. You want to charge $10. I don't give a fuck about the sound. You charged me $100. There was one event at a combo breaker, the first one for Injustice 2, where the setups for the first set of pools were god-awful laggy. I couldn't even do a combo. I lost. I said, hey, you know, whatever. Shut your fucking mouth, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm not a hardcore competitor anymore. I just paid $120 to walk in the door. I mean, what? And they ended up fixing the setups later. And I'm like, man, these poor competitors that were here. And also, so one, it took Sonic Fox to say something because nobody cares if it's not Sonic. Two, had Sonic won, despite how bad the tournament was, bet you he would have showed up for that ceremony, wouldn't he have? Well, yeah, Kanamani was in the Kanamani was in the same situation. He didn't win. The tournament was held poorly for Kanamani, same as Sonic. But Kanamani showed up for that ceremony. You see, Sonic Fox needs to realize when you win, you always want the people there shaking your hand and giving you the trophy. And do not tell me that nobody in history had a tournament in which was ran poorly. They lose to Sonic Fox and they felt like, man, this sucks, man. It was held poorly. My headset wasn't working very well. I'm sure they did, but they still showed up afterwards. Because if they had lost to Sonic and said, oh, my headphones and the monitor was laggy, what would they have been told? Excuses. Sonic lost to Javier. Javier just, hey, I beat the #1 player in the world. I want to put YouTube videos about it. Oh, the lag and you know this, you know that. Come on, man. You know, Sonic is a terrible, terrible sport. Period. You can say these issues, and he's right in them. But again, If anybody else did what Sonic did, it would have been a huge deal. It would have been like, this guy didn't show up, salty, lost to Sonic, just couldn't hold that. The GOAT is back. All hail the GOAT. All hail the king, making excuses. Sonic was tough enough. He adapted. Why couldn't you? But when it happens to Sonic, now, oh my God, the issues. And he's right. He's right. He's right in what he's justified in what he said. But many people have had tournaments that were run poorly, shitty venue, shitty setup, things happen, matches restarted. They talk about it. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares.
But that's less of a indictment on Sonic and more of the people that just follow him blindly.
That's the FGC as a whole. People have been saying this for a long time. And this is kind of the problem. The FGC is full of this gotcha culture, right? Caught you crying, bitch. Gotcha. You know, that's the FGC. Yeah, dude, Arslan Ash can't even say a character is whatever now. And he can say, oh, I don't care. Caught you crying, bitch. Remember you said, Brian? Gotcha. You know, like you can't even have a conversation with the FGC without, you know, like, you know, if Arslan Ash said, oh, my stick was messed up, whatever. Oh, the excuses. Dude, Sonic Fox.
Look, listen, right. me and Sonic, I'm gonna pass this over to PL just a sec so he can get what he thinks.
He's
about
right.
it.
Sonic Fox is justified in what he's saying.
Yeah, what I wanted to say was that yes, like people have had to deal with that, but if I've got to be fair to Sonic Fox here because I'm putting myself in this situation. I don't care what other people have to deal with. I care about me. Sure. If I'm going to a competition and you screw me over, it's my problem now. And if they screw you over, it's your problem. Now, if I won the tournament, yeah, I would go to the award ceremony. I would probably have something to say, though. But if you screwed me over now and I have nothing to show for it, I don't want to come to your award ceremony anymore because you bumped me out of winning this. Like, he probably got pissed off because he probably felt that the momentum was on his side. So I'm just being honest. I don't want to be a hypocrite because I know in that situation, I would have been livid. It's Final Kombat, right? It's not some local.
But
I don't know. How does it work? Do they have to get points to get there?
This has happened to people at major tournaments, at qualifying tournaments where setup was no good. It was ran properly. Something happened. There were tournaments in which the staff had you play the wrong person and you advanced pretty far and they got to go back and undo everything. And now you lost and you're like, what is this? You know, there was an MLG in which there was a series of disqualifications due to players coming back late. So there was a player sickness who beat Rico Suave in Injustice 1. It was at the Injustice 1 MLG, and he advanced. And they disqualified people for coming late. And then, of course, the NRS community was like, dude, we were here, all your difficulties yesterday, we stood super late, and you want to disqualify us over 5 minutes when we gave you all the leeway in the world? So the staff goes, you're right. We'll undo the previous round. And they couldn't just undo some. They undid the whole round. And then Sickness plays Rico and loses and is eliminated. Nobody cares. This happens to people so many times and nobody cares.
No, I get that. But
and that was an MLD tournament with over $10,000 on the line.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that although I get it sucks when it happens to other people, and maybe I'm not as clouted as Sonic Fox, but it's not really his problem, is it?
Yeah, real quick, because I know Peter wants to get in as well. I think I don't know if Tom's going to agree. I think there's a big distinction between like a passive problem from the TOs and an active problem. Something like a laggy monitor or the console overheating or the headset's not working. It's like passive, where like that's the TOs more than anything.
Playing the wrong matches or have rounds having to be undone. That's not a passive problem either. That's not passive.
And I think with Sonic Fox's example, that's active. Like those people did not have to interrupt the match. Mm-hmm. And I agree. When they're 100%. Summoning the wrong individuals, I think that's a little bit different than laggy monitors because I can think of people like Punk. Punk is known for like complaining about stuff. And he normally gets shit. He normally gets shit for saying like, oh, you're only saying that the monitor's laggy because you lost. He gets that quite a lot. Probably not on the same level as, well, definitely not on the same level as like PL gets grief for sure. But I think with the Sonic Fox thing, production literally coming up to you mid-match, that is some tomfoolery that I think they should get another job. I think I would fire them. If that was my staff and they did that, I think because that's not something you have to explain to production to stop a match mid-set when they're playing for money.
They own reparations.
That's crazy.
Let me hear from PL. PL, what do you think about this whole situation?
Okay, so can you guys hear me at first?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just make sure I had the mic right. So, first off, Sonic is right to be upset about that. However, for that situation, but I want to touch on that after I give you guys basically the same thing that happened to me, but different. I mean, it not being staff probably changes it, but maybe it was that same Injustice 2 tournament for Combo Breaker. It was the first one. It was me, Sonic, CD Jr. in the same pool. I had to play Junior, and had I beat Junior, I would have played Sonic. Now, it was the last round of the well, you know, Injustice is just one big life bar, but it was like the last set, whatever, right? So as we're playing, now y'all tell me, is this interference or not? As we're playing, and I'm about to win, Zyfox runs up to the screen and points at the screen and says, "Hey, you got your resource. Just turn on your trait and meter burn roll in." Junior was not even thinking of that until he heard him say that and literally came up to the screen and pointed to it just as close as I am to the camera. And you know what? I didn't hear anybody say they cared about what happened to me and that shit. Like, isn't that sabotage? And
but
also,
he's talking about an actual.
Yeah. Okay, now let me go back to so I understand that we're saying he was interrupted mid-set, but it was the first round of the first match. And on top of that, in that first round, first match, he picked Cyrax. He didn't pick Sector. But then when they actually ran the set on stream, we could see he all of a sudden picked Sector. So if you were winning the match with Cyrax, what clicked off in your head to make you change to Sector for the first official game? And then, like, when he switched back to Cyrax after he went down 2-0, he won a game, and then he still lost after that. But I'm just like, why would you switch off of Cyrax if you were already winning the fake game or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So that didn't make sense to me. And then on top of that, there was no way he would just, obviously we couldn't see the screen, but there is no way with how that match was going that he was ever in control of Kanimani. Just because you landed your one touch of death sequence doesn't mean you were fully winning, because clearly you won one game with that, but you got your back blown out the whole set. So I'm just saying, like, you can't be like, well, I would have won that if it wasn't did like that. And then on top of that, we don't know if they told him don't start, because you know how gamers, they'll sit down and just start playing without your permission to start playing. And then they was probably like, oh no, don't play yet. And like, what, you think Sonic Fox is going to know what they saying in Spanish or whatever? They're going down there and telling them to sit down. He probably thinks they're going to sit down to play. So they sit down and lock in and start on their own accord. And then they come over there. So we don't know what happened. And you know, I don't want to hear about the roof falling down and the puddles on the floor from the rain or the seating and blah, 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 just because you didn't have your hand-picked bracket this time. Boo-hoo. I'm sorry. But guess what? Everybody has been at mercy of terrible seating, especially when certain players don't have to play against anybody until they get to top 8. And it's been like that for a couple years now. So when you actually have some kind of pushback or difficulty in your path, you're supposed to arise to the occasion as the GOAT. Kanimani didn't have any problem with his composure or anything else, or showing up to the award ceremony. How dare you not show up to a award ceremony and disrespect all of Mortal Kombat, the fans that support Mortal Kombat, the developers? Ed Boon's right there. That's supposed to be your boy. It's still like, you know, a Mortal Kombat thing. You still get paid $10K. You lost. Why don't you, like? I just know if it was me, how Twitter would look right now, and YouTube and everything else.
So also, when it comes to momentum break, I don't know the exact time limit, but I remember an Evo, the biggest Evo Sonic Fox has ever won against Goichi. Goichi wins the first set, wants to keep going, and Sonic Fox has the set on hold for quite a while that he's like, no, I want a side switch. And yet it broke it was a huge momentum break.
And Goichi doesn't know English, so they had to take all that time to translate to him what was going on. Goichi's like, what is this? And this is the side switch rule is only a thing that exists in America, in American arcades, which Sonic did not grow up in. So like, it doesn't make any sense to be like, yeah, I need to. Where was the side switch the next year when they played in the grand finals? Why do you need to switch sides that time? So I just think like it's kind of dumb. That's kind of karma for that happening. It sucks that happens because I would never wish for your set to be stopped mid-set, whether it's the first round or the first health bar or whatever. That shit is hella corny and it sucks because you're already locked in. But like, hey man, as a professional, you are supposed to still keep your composure. Like Jordan was able to win with the flu. So like, I mean, I don't know.
I was going to ask Peel real quick. You know the side swapping thing? Because I don't see it often at all. That was probably the biggest one. Do you think it's a I don't know, a sportsman-like strategy to employ? So say I'm playing you,
yeah,
and I'm like, you're on fire, bro. I need to cool you down, and I know you don't speak the same language, so I'm gonna ask for this rule that I've read in the rules.
Yeah, I'm
gonna enforce it because I can. And I know it's going to take extra long because they're going to need to get a translator to explain the rule to you so I can, cool you off. Do you think that's fair to do? Or do you think it's like unsportsmanlike to do?
I mean, it's in the rules. So for the event at the time, I guess it's fair. I heard they actually got rid of that rule because later, like a couple years later, I was playing Tekken 8 and I was like, hey, let's switch because the rule, right? And he was like, no, they actually got rid of that. So because Machima players, including myself, used to try to get side two. Me, honestly, I don't really care. I just try to play a mind game with it because I can play on both sides. But most Machima players are better on side two than they are on side one. So they all try to always get side two. Like, okay, if you go back and watch Q Downs at EWC, everybody he beat, when he beat everybody, he was on side two. I'm like, you gave a Machima player side two. Like you're just not really doing yourself any favors right here. But they apparently somehow got rid of the rule, but no, I don't think anything that's like, I mean, it's not the same as touching him, but it's like pushing him while you to try to throw him off his game or whatever. I think it's corny. You already know in different arcades they have the cross. I forget what it's called, the
head to head.
Yeah, the head to head. So like, and you see how Tekken 7 started it with we both can play on side one, then the game will emulate the side two. So like, I do think it's whack to do that. I feel like if I'm the best, I should be able to beat you.
Yeah.
And doing this now, if it would have been a lot more, it wouldn't look as bad if he would just say, "Can I take a breather? Can I go to the bathroom real quick or something, or get a drink of water or whatever?" But like, man, that was a long wait, and I remember seeing Goichi's face. He was pissed. So like, you got to think about that, because think about after you play like a long set, you played all day and you go do whatever, you come back, you still got to like warm back up. It's not like it's still there. Same thing, you cutting the grass, you warm up the engine, you still have to, pull the cord to get it back up. It's just not going to start. So I think that's whack. But I mean, hey man, energy kind of just like revolves and comes back. So that was probably from that. I'm not saying like it was wished upon or anything, but it's like, hey, you got to be able to pretty much overcome stuff like that, because there's going to be a lot of things that throw you off and rattle you, like people standing in front of monitors or doing whatever. And I don't think people should have to deal with that. But you're at Final Kombat. So
I think people stand in front of monitors and all that shit. That's outside of the game, and I don't think people should be doing that. And I don't think players should be asked to deal with that.
Right.
What Sonic Fox did to Goichi though, I don't think I ever spoke about it, because when I saw him do it, I was like, that was fucking smart, because you were getting battered and you realized and you iced him up, and it was in the rules. And like you can say it's an underhanded tactic, and I guess it is. It's, to me, it's in line with a boxer that keeps on holding or like does a little bit of a head nudge. He knows it's probably going to lose a little points, but he might be able to like cut the other boxer. Or it's in line with someone doing something like that we don't like seeing in like cage fighting, where they're holding to like suck the out of somebody. Yeah, it was a lame thing to do, but I was also like, well, you won, so it wasn't a he couldn't be disqualified for it. He played it smart. I watched it at home live, and I was like, that was a smart play, because if he didn't do that, Goichi was going to win.
I understand what PL's saying. I think most people see it like a dirty tactic, but everyone has to like shrug their shoulders at it. It's like, well, if you allowed it in the rules, why would a player not do it? We're all fighting game players. We go into the lab to break games. That's all fighting players do. They go into team mode. They go, these are the limitations. How far can I push it, or how far can I break it? And if you're going to go into a tournament like Sonic Fox and Goichi did, and there's an advantage you can gain outside of the game, you should. This is definitely not on the same level. In grand finals, so I played someone, their buttons weren't right. After we did the button check, we went into the game and went, oh, my burst wasn't on, and we were playing Guilty Gear. I said, I guess that's 1-0 then to me.
Yeah.
You should have checked your buttons. That's not my responsibility. You fucked up. And everyone's like, oh, why'd you do that for? I was like, I don't care about winning with integrity. I'll money match them after and take their money as well as, because I knew I was better than them. I didn't want to waste time. So I took the game. And that's why I kind of sympathize with the Sonic Fox just going, this strategy I'm allowed to do, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, getting back to the event, I mean, it's like Sonic Fox isn't wrong with what he's saying, but this kind of stuff happens constantly, and just nobody cares about it. I mean, why is it more egregious? Because it happened to Sonic Fox.
Oh, it's because he's the most popular player. That's why people are gonna. It's like with anything.
With anyone else, it would be. With anyone else, it would be sour grapes. With anyone else.
No, that's true. I get it, and I think that's wrong. But that's a fact of life in anything. Like if Lewis Hamilton says something, people will probably listen over the guy that always finishes 22nd. Like if Mike Tyson says something, they'll probably listen over the heavyweight that never won a championship. Like it's just like that. It's I don't think it's right. I don't think it makes the other person's point invalid. But Sonic Fox is a multi-time champion. If he makes a fuss about something, people are going to listen. I can't understand that. I'm not a multi-time.
PL's a 3-time Evo champion, and when he was still competing professionally and still doing well, nobody cared. It was excuses.
I think that's wrong because PL deserves more respect than what the scene gives him. But the scene have painted PL as the villain, and they haven't for Sonic, and that is the reality that I think people need to accept. That when Sonic Fox complains, people are going to listen, and they might actually make changes. I mean, we spoke about this before, like characters being buffed and nerfed. And there was the whole speculation that when Sonic Fox moans, characters get changed. And I can imagine that being true because he is the most clouted player in Mortal Kombat. I know people don't like hearing that, but that is the way the cookie crumbles, you know? Like, I mean, there's Sikander as well, who, you know, Sikander is very, very, very popular. And I think Sikander can get away with a little bit more because he's got such a big community that they'll just be like, oh, yeah, it's just Sikander saying it. And I know Sikander as well, so I'm sort of like, I know him behind closed doors. Like I know he's not what people might think he is, but because of his clout, he does get away with saying certain things on the timeline that I don't think I would get away with. I don't have Sikander's kind of clout, so I think that's the reason why.
C4, what is your name, man?
Nen Impact. I play Nen Impact.
Nanger.
But I spelled it so there's no mistakes to be made. Okay. You can just do Nen if you want.
Yeah.
It's a good game. Don't pay for it. 60 quid still. It's not worth 60 quid.
Yeah, I don't know much about Hunter x Hunter, so I just I haven't gotten to it.
No, it's really a good game. Like I would highly recommend playing it. I mean, right now, if you were to sign on, you might get a game. You might get a game. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like one guy just left his PlayStation on.
It's not crossplay.
It's not crossplay.
Crossplay with who? Who you crossplay with?
Damn. With who?
It's a WhatsApp fighter.
That's a big peak though.
Bro, that's an SMS. This is an SMS file.
I mean, I have fun in team mode. That's all that matters. It's at Evo. So, you know, it must be doing something right.
Yeah, that Evo France.
That's crazy. Top 8 in 10 minutes. That is insane.
Did you see UFA? Someone got to top 8 with a 0 win rate because of the the 2 DQs, and they got to top 8.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. So do we respect that top 8?
No.
No. Work smart, not hard. If you don't have to beat 2 people to get to top 8, good for you. You got the graphic and everything in the venue. It was sick.
What was the payout?
I don't know if there was a payout.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Actually, no. I think the winner got a trip to Evo Nice. Evo France.
Okay. Yeah,
I think the winner actually did get that. Yeah.
That's work smarter then. Yeah, I would play. Listen, if Nen Impact was, imagine they were paying Saudi money for Nen Impact. That would be my main game because I ain't got much competition.
Some people think the same thing about Fatal Fury.
No, but Fatal Fury is difficult.
It is difficult. It's a difficult game, but the player pool isn't that big.
I don't know, man. I think like the collection of NA, Mexico, Asia, Europe, it's pretty big in terms of when you go to a major, everybody that's good is there, and it's definitely a lot of people. Like Evo still had like 1,500 people show up, and then all the other majors were big. I don't know how they're going to be at DreamHack. I don't know how many people are signed up, but I just know everybody that's playing those games are really strong too.
Stacked. Yeah. Every Fatal Fury bracket is like stacked, and that word gets thrown around a lot, but in Fatal Fury it's different. It's very very different. Like your first pools match can be a grand finals.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah. So just to clarify, because I know we're going to get on to what Tom wants to talk about, like the MK scene. I know people have seen my run-ins with Sonic Fox. I know that people know that me and Sonic Fox don't really get along very well. But I'm just talking about it objectively. That's how I see it. So it's not me being like, oh, me and Sonic Fox are buddy now just because I'm kind of on his side on this situation. I'm just of the opinion that what happens to everybody else is not my problem. And if it happens to me, I have every right to be angry. I'm not there playing for you. I'm playing for me. And if they do it to me, I acknowledge it's happened to other people. I get that. But everyone else is not my problem. I am my problem. So that's the reason why, like, I understand why Sonic Fox was angry by it. Was it distasteful to not go to the awards ceremony? Maybe, but like health and safety as well. There was tiles falling on people's heads. Maybe he just felt like he's already had one string of bad luck in the day. Maybe he'll get a second when he's on stage. I don't know, but I'm not mad at him for that. Was there anything that you wanted to add to that, Tom?
Again, I'm not mad at him for it, but if it was anybody else,
Ed Boon was on stage. It was pretty safe to me, so I don't know.
If it was anybody else, and again, this is the type of stuff. If people want to know why people don't like Sonic Fox, as mankind would say, dozens and dozens of foxes out there, he's got thousands and thousands of fans. People don't not like Sonic because of his preferences, which is always made out that way. They don't like him because if it doesn't work out for him, even this time is justified. It's always something. The guy is the greatest Mortal Kombat player of all time without playing 80% of the Mortal Kombat games. I mean, that's unreal. So they say. He so many tournaments, MK11, he doesn't enter. He would have won if he did enter. When he does enter, he didn't win. Yeah, but it was playing another game. MK9, these little guest tournaments that's happened. If he wins, hail to the king. This is the proof he was the best. He was the greatest. He loses to someone like Kerbo, who was an OG player. Well, it doesn't really count. I mean, Sonic's not really playing. It's always something. It's always something. Is he taking it seriously? Is he trying? He would have won. What he would have done. What he should have done. And then he loses like, dude, you lost.
Can I just play devil's advocate for Sonic Fox here again? I know this is unpopular.
I know it's frustrating, but you lost. I know it's frustrating, but you lost.
No, let me just explain. Like the reason that I don't get too mad at Sonic Fox making excuses for his losses is
it's not excuses. This is legit happened. But if it's an excuse for anybody else, he doesn't make excuses. It's his fans that make the excuses.
Is mentioning seeding an excuse?
I mean, bro, it's an esport and they still don't get seeding right. I mean, the FGC is literally in the Stone Ages, man. I mean, it is what it is. But if it was anybody else, it would have been an excuse. The only reason anyone else, if Javier said it, it would have been an excuse.
Yeah, but the reason I give Sonic Fox some grace when he does say things when people beat him is that I watch boxing and UFC and all of these sports, and all of the best fighters always make excuses when they lose. They're like, oh, this was wrong. My training was off. The gloves were whatever. And so I think hyper competitive people that are hyper successful have a hard time accepting that they just got beat.
Of course.
So I get that when Sonic Fox like goes into one or like he makes excuses on the timeline. I read that and I'm just like, this is just a dude that he's so competitive that he can't take losing. And I'm nowhere near as successful as Sonic Fox in tournament, but when I was doing well in MK here in the UK and I was winning tournaments, even in Soul Calibur, and someone would beat me, every excuse under the sun, I'd be at the bus stop effing and blinding about why they shouldn't have won and this, that, and the other. So I can't be hypocritical and be like, blah, 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 Sonic Fox this, Sonic Fox that. I think all competitive people do that.
But the difference is with everyone else, it's, dude, just hold your loss. Even at the highest level. Just hold your loss. That's what people say. Except for Sonic. And I get it. Like, again, he loses to Javier Online. The lag, the this, the that, blah, blah, blah. If Javier lost to Sonic Online and said the lag, ain't nobody hearing that, brother. They would say it was salty, it was sour grapes. If Javier or anybody else lost to Sonic here and said, man, just where the tournament was and the venue was shit and the seating was bad. Now, clearly everyone there was there for a reason. These are the top players in the world. Yet if any one of them would have said that, ain't gonna fly. Hail to the king. Sonic won. We all knew it. It doesn't happen. If Arslan Ash were to say what Sonic said, massacre. They would have massacred him. Right? So the point is that while he's writing what he's saying, these types of things happen to people, not just low level, first round exit people in pools, happen to even great players. And if they say anything, it's excuses and, the seeding is bad. Dude, let a top player say the seeding was bad. My God, they would be like, so you just don't want to play nobody good. I mean, they would get obliterated.
But isn't that more of like a pushback on the scene itself rather than Sonic Fox? Because then is Sonic Fox not allowed to say the seeding is bad because everybody else has said it before?
Nobody else said the seeding was bad.
No, I mean just in tournaments in general. I've heard that since the dawn of time, right?
Seeding is always bad for someone.
Yeah, it's always bad for someone.
Guess what? When you say the seeding is bad, they tell you excuses, blah, blah, blah. I know. So like,
but I mean, at the highest level, when you're a top player and you say the seeding is bad,
trying to handpick your opponent when you want to fight Johnny Donuts instead of Joe.
It's the FGC. It's always bad. I mean,
it's the feed, bro.
Bro, at Evo, seeding is always shit at Evo. It's been shit at Evo since time immemorial. Nobody cares. Dog, I went to Evo for Injustice 1. At that point, I was still considered a top player. Won a major, top 8 in other tournaments. I get to Evo, and in my bracket is Rio, PL, Rico Suave, Chris G. They put us all, CDG, all in one bracket. All of us. And we had to, and Chris G was the sole survivor, right? And I'm like, I came here to play people. I had just played Rico at next level, and I go to Evo to play Rico again. And I was like, what? I'm in California. Are there none of those people here for me to play? Evo has always done this. And they've done it as to show the Evo, the dream. They would used to put the worst against the worst and the best against the best. So you'd always have some crazy dark horse make it out. It's like anything, dog. The top 8 to make top 8 was Gridman versus PR Rog, and neither one of them could do a combo. And that was for top 8 because Evo would do this, but you could just tell they weren't like high level Injustice player. PR Rog, a high level player. Just didn't care about Injustice, right? See Killer Frost doing slide, ha, 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 and a Superman player in the air doing eye beams, and it's like, ha, ha, like it's so stupid. Rico is sitting there going, what the fuck, man? And the seeding, and yet is Rico not one of the best players in the world? He was. I was. PL was. I mean, all these people, you know, and we're all just, it is what it is. We just got to hold it. And Evo has done this for years, a tournament of that size to sell the Evo Dream. Who knew? Who saw this coming? That anything can happen at Evo. That they've done this for so long. This seating has always been shit. Always.
But what I'm saying is that even though seeding's always been shit, we always hear people complain about it. So
and they get blown up for it.
Yeah, but can't we objectively offer Sonic Fox that same level of grace where he is still a player? Does he not have the right to complain about it?
Yes, but my point is, Ernesto ain't doing videos for anybody else. I mean, come on, dog.
Real quick to jump off of that, I was going to ask this to everyone here. Like, is there some sort of level of clout or prestige that you get to where you're kind of not forced, but you're like expected to be at the ceremony? Because I think if it was like Meter Burn Shin Toaster who got to top 8 and they didn't go to the award ceremony, no one would care. But because Sonic Fox has like a clout following, blah blah blah, they're kind of more expected to be like the sportsman person and go like, you know what, had a bad time, I should be there. But if this is no one would care that they didn't go to the ceremony because they'd be. So do you think it's the prestige that comes with Sonic Fox? That's why people think that they should have went to the ceremony? Or
what I think is,
hold on, let me say this.
Hold on, other top players have had. hold on. I got to get this out. I want to stay on this point. Other top players.
Oh, just in case, I will read your super chats, guys, after Tom.
Other top players have had moments where they made top 8 but didn't win. And Sonic is one, and they felt like, man, the seeding sucked, or the tournament wasn't ran very well. Nobody cares. And they still show up to crown the King of Kings, Sonic Fox. Show your competitors the same courtesy that people show you when you win.
Is that for anybody though? Or do you think it means more for someone who's got a name that's like a household name in the FGC?
It means more for someone who knows that's half of this shit. I mean, dude, as someone, look, I've been in the FGC since the beginning. If you want to say a tournament wasn't ran very well and the seating was bad, welcome to fighting games. They're all like that. They're all bad. All the tournaments are run bad. The brackets are the way they are. The seating is the way it is. And those people still show up to crown you. You know this is how fighting games are. If you
just didn't benefit from it this time.
I mean, you know the way fighting games are. People show up when you're crowned. Show up and okay, I got the pausing the match. But that's happened to people before at tournaments. That's happened to people before where their match has been stopped. And the only reason why I know about these matches that have been stopped isn't because it's Joe 55 minus Super 97, right? It's because we know who these players are and the match has significance and something happened. Match had to be stopped. They pick it up or whatever it is. This stuff has happened before to players. And they show up for the award ceremony. And Ernesto don't do videos about it. And like, it is what it is. It is what it is. Welcome to, the seating is bad. No shit. The event was ran poorly. Of course. I mean, of course it was. What do you expect? The venue was terrible. It's NRS. Why would you think anything would be good about it? What are you talking about?
Let me read out these super chats and then we'll get on to the people that you want to call out.
Oh, yeah, PO.
Oh, yeah, sorry, go on, PO.
Man, I forgot, dude.
I was saying, do you think because Sonic Fox has a name that it's more important for them to be at the ceremony versus if it was, what did I say his name was? Meter Burn Shin Toaster.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah, because Meter Burn Shin
Can y'all list another time that another player has missed a top 8 ceremony after the tournament was over?
Leffen. I can't remember the reasons. So I don't know if it counts. I don't know if it was because the tournament was bad or they had to enter something else. But Leffen has not been at a ceremony before.
That's
not
bad
not ceremony. The medal giving. It's not like a ceremony like it was for Final Combat. It would be for like Strive at some sort of like.
So it was for Strive. It was for Strive for fucking random major that wasn't a world championship. Okay.
Yeah, but, like World Tour points, like at most. Yeah.
The only other player I know that didn't show up to the ceremony was Daigo, and he donated all of his prize money from that tournament. That was Capcom Cup. The last one for Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Dog, Uncle Ben to Peter Parker, brother. With great power comes great responsibility. You enjoy all the perks of being not just a regular guy. You enjoy all the perks of being looked up to, but then don't want the responsibility that comes along with that. I mean, it just is. I mean, and again, if it were just some regular guy saying the seating and the brackets were that bad and the way things were run was poor and the staff didn't handle things properly, sure. I mean, so how long have you been playing, Sonic? I mean, that's surely Sonic. I know for a fact Sonic has gone to tournaments and won where the seating was shit. The tournament was not run very well. Just the staff is what it is. And he won. And it was okay.
I think when you win, you're more willing to cooperate, even though
victory is the best deodorant. Yeah. Victory is the best deodorant. Of course.
I think maybe you're like, well, if I don't go to the ceremony, I won't get my trophy as well. If you win, you're kind of. But like
you have Mike is saying you have a different feeling.
Yeah. I think you're like forced to, because it's like, well, if you don't come get this check, then you don't get your money.
Well,
I think that
most viewers will never understand this because they've never competed at the highest possible level. At the highest level, losing feels worse than winning feels good. So people don't understand that because they don't know what it's like to be in grand finals, to be in top 8, to be in that situation at the highest possible level. So I understand you have that feeling and all this happened. But again, Ernesto ain't making videos for anybody else. That's all that I'm saying, man.
I think he did make a video about Sonic Fox not going on stage though. To be fair,
I'm sure he did bring that up. But my point is, these issues have happened to people before. You know, I mean, this is common. You go to a fighting game tournament, most of them aren't run very well. Obnoxious wait times in pools. You know, we've all been to those tournaments, man.
Every tournament,
like you've been to them. C4, I know you've been to them.
You don't play again till 6. Like I hate every major schedule is trash today. Like the way it should work, everybody starts playing at the same time. So then we can get like, I'm tired of this. I start at 12, you start at 3, and then we all come back at 6. No, fuck that. I'm tired of having to do an endurance run and be fresh the whole day. Ain't nobody fresh the whole damn day. Ain't like, come on, man. You gotta take naps and shit, pop pills, whatever. Like,
dude, I went to a tournament
all day.
PL was there. I went to a tournament which I lost in top 8 to Ufmatic for Soul Calibur 4. I had barely lost to Wing Zero, rest his soul. And I'm still salty about that loss to this day. Why would he duck against Astaroth when his back was to the edge? Why? Why would he do that? It still bothers me to this day. I'm like,
that's a ballsy thing to do.
What I said was, I was like, so I ran, did the trip, picked him up, back is to the edge. My decision here is going to win or lose for me, right? Because he, and I'm like, there's no way he's going to duck. There's no way. I'm just framing, throwing like it's Christmas. All you see is lights going off. And I'm like, no way he's going to duck. And of course, I'm like, why didn't I not just do the mid? But I was playing very well. That tournament was held all in one night. We had played, PL was there. It was survival. I lost at 7:30 in the morning after being up all night in top 8.
What they did is they shut down Soul Calibur and every other game going on to make everybody watch Yipes versus Justin in the exhibition 1st to 7th at Seasons Beatings. They stopped the whole tournament to make everybody watch that, and then resume the rest of the tournament.
First major for the game. I'm tired. We had a bit. They ran the tournament all night. Like they ran it all night. The venue stayed open 24 hours. They ran it all night. It was a close match. I was so delirious that the dude used all his force power, and I think I was asleep and didn't even realize it. And I was like out. It was still a close set, at the last round or whatever, right? And I'm like, man, I'm so exhausted. And then the worst part about it is I just wanted some greasy fucking McDonald's food just to ease my soul. And by the time we got there, they were serving breakfast. I was so salty. I'm like, now, not that I feel like I could have won, but I feel like I could have made a serious push in that tournament, right? I'm in the top 8, took Ufmatic to the edge, almost beat Wing Zero, who ended up winning. I legitimately could say, man, I took the 2 of the 3 best players to the, and I felt, if you watch that set, I could have won. I should have won. I was exhausted. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares. I'm up 24 hours. We were all up 24 hours, right? No, would somebody else have won? Maybe. I don't know. But I certainly know that when people are up 24 hours, you may not get the same result if you replay it back with a better tournament, right? And I'm not saying I would have won, but I just didn't say anything because nobody fucking cared. We were all up for 24 hours. It was terribly run. This type of shit happens all the times in fighting games. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. That's all I'm saying.
Let me read some super chats because I've got some questions for you and PL. So the first one is from Lexi. Thank you for the $5, Lexi. Just want to ask PL if I'd be hated for playing Tanya in Mortal Kombat 10. Also, fuck Mike. Lexi.
That depends on the version of the game that we're playing.
Yeah, the version of Tanya.
Yeah.
Tom, thank you for the $2. Gen Impact has 5 players right now with 24-hour peak. Yeah, that's mad. Talk to Nenga up there. That's his game. Tom, thank you for the $10. I'm sorry, but Tom is 100% right. If it were anybody else, they would say get fucked. Sure, people will have bias, but the FGC claims it listens to everybody when they clearly cognitive dissonance is a virus. I hear that. I understand that. I get what Tom is saying. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm saying that just because everybody else is doing one thing does not mean I'm going to do like the opposite. I'm not saying Tom's doing that either. I know that Sonic Fox's fans will always defend him no matter what. But I'm less interested in what they have to say and just more interested in looking at looking at it objectively, like feelings attached. So I acknowledge that he has a fan base that will defend whatever he does. I get that. But there is also a contingent of people that will hate him for whatever he does as well, if we're being fair. And I'm just looking at it objectively and how I would have handled it, which is why when I saw what happened, I was like, I can't be mad at this guy. Even if it does happen to other people, I get it. I get why he's upset. That's
every tournament player can understand what he's feeling. We've all been there, Mike. Every tournament player can understand what he's feeling. But I mean, again, seeding was bad. Tournament was ran improperly. Welcome to fighting games.
But do you think it's okay? Like, so let's say he competes in another tournament and it happens again. Just because it's happened historically, do you think he still has a right to complain and bitch about it?
I think anyone has a right to complain and bitch about it. I guess what I mean to say is the FGC traditionally doesn't handle this well. And now for Sonic, all of a sudden, it's like a major issue.
But do we acknowledge that's because of he's the most popular player? Because that kind of happens.
I just think they're so used to seeing him win.
Okay.
Why didn't he win? Oh, of course, this happened.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
Like how the games work at all or anything. They see life bars and just all that. I mean, if you actually watch the set, you would see somebody was clearly getting outplayed. And
I mean, he did give Connie his props. He did say he kept.
Well, I'm glad he did because it makes it seem like he blamed his loss on.
No. He did say Connie played better, played smarter. Yeah. He gave that up to him.
Washed Ali, thank you for the £2. Keep up the good work, Mike. Appreciate you, bro. Visson Blackstar, thank you for the 5,000 ARS. Demanding professionalism of all things by not showing up to the ceremony is ironic as hell. Childlike behavior, no excuses. Does he demand professionalism in all things, though? Because if Low-Tier God was playing, for example, and Low-Tier God didn't show up, nobody's going to really bat an eye, right? Because we know what Low-Tier God's like when he loses. So has Sonic Fox demanded a level of professionalism from everybody else? Because if he has, then he would be a hypocrite. But
he's saying that the tournament was not very professional, but then he did not act very professional, to say the least. So, sure, if you're asking for professionalism of those around you, you should display it yourself, is what I think he's saying.
I disagree, because I think if you've already done something to slight me, then I don't need to adhere to a standard. So if you've already stepped on my toes, why am I going to... I mean, you could say be the bigger person, be the professional. I get that. But also, like, looking at it like on a human side, like, I get why he would be like, no, you've already slighted me. Your venue's falling apart. Your sound team are incompetent. I'm not coming to your tournament. This isn't about glazing Sonic Fox Cantro. I'm just trying to be objective here, okay? Don't be a fucking Twitter personality.
Sure.
I'm just trying to be objective. I'm trying to look at it. I'm also trying to look at the way I would deal with it.
Sure.
And I don't want to be hypocritical just because me and Sonic Fox don't see eye to eye. So I don't know, C4, how do you feel about that? Like, if someone slights you, actually, I already know the answer because you're petty. You'll do something twice as worse as what Sonic Fox did.
Wait. You have to give me the scenario. Give me the context. I might not be petty. It depends.
So this super chat came in, and essentially saying that Sonic Fox behaved in a very childish way.
Right.
The venue did not, or the tournament organizers weren't professional, but neither was he. But I'm saying you fucked me over, so don't ask me to like be professional because you already started this. So I'm already above it now, or below it, or whatever.
I can answer Alex's question as well. I think for me personally, there was a time when I was on here and I was saying I don't like being classed as part of the FGC, and you pushed back and you said it doesn't matter what you think, people see you as part of the FGC. And I was like, okay, I thought about it, and I think there's two different people. And I think if your like brand as a player is that you are a sportsman-like person, so if Justin Wong was to not go to the ceremony, I'll be like, you're kind of taking a piss, right? Your whole like ethos is about being sportsman-like. But like you said, with LTG, who cares? Like, no, it's not that no one cares. It's that it makes sense. It makes sense for his brand to be like that. I don't think anyone's entitled to have to go to the ceremony.
I think Low-Tier God would still showed up for the top 8 ceremony.
Maybe, but I'm just saying, I think Low-Tier God has a choice not to, where Justin Wong doesn't. If Justin Wong didn't go, everyone would be like, what are you doing? You have to go. You're the guy. Like, everyone looks up to you. You're a pioneer of fighting games. So it would be weird if he didn't. But someone else that was on his level, but didn't kind of gather up the responsibility of holding that kind of mantle, I think it's okay for them to opt out. Me personally. So I think it's a different people have different standards, and I think some people have a standard to do that. I don't know Sonic Fox that well. I only know them in Dragon Ball, and if they didn't go to a ceremony, that would be a bit weird. But I don't know how they are in other games. I know a little bit in Skullgirls. I don't know if they're like the bastion of light of, you know, goodness. So that's the kind of mantle that I would expect someone to have, and they have to go to the ceremony. If you don't do that and you're just like, I don't know, if you're like F-Champ or something, where you've kind of got that edgy like heel element about you, it makes sense for you to have the option not to go if you really dislike the tournament. So that's kind of a fancy answer, but yeah.
Was that in response to Alexis as well?
Yeah, because I think Alexia was asking me about my opinion on the question that I don't think you've read yet. I think you're getting to it.
V Tekken, thank you for the $5. Tom keeping it real. And then Alexis, thank you for the $1.99. I want C4's thoughts on my last super chat, which was this one. You enjoy all the perks of not being a regular guy. I'm not heckling Tom, but doesn't him alone saying that destroy his arguments of Ernesto isn't making videos when it happens to other people?
The perks of being a regular guy.
Not being a regular guy.
Oh, not being a regular guy. Again, I don't think there's very few things I feel you're entitled to. I don't think you're entitled or you have to go to the ceremony. If you're a person who's got clout, I think there's not many rules that I would apply to them that I wouldn't apply to someone who has no name. I try to keep it like, even if you're someone with 1 follower versus someone with 1 million followers on Twitter, I think you should obey or be held by the same rules at fighting game events.
Sure.
Or sportsmanship. Yeah. I can't, maybe there is one rule where I'll make it that that person has to do it and that person doesn't, but I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Just here it says that he wants all the positives of being an influencer, but none of the negatives. Has Sonic Fox outright like said that he doesn't want to deal with the negative side of this, or like brushed it off as if he's not in the wrong or anything like that? Because I feel like maybe personal feelings are getting in the way of like painting a narrative now about somebody, because I don't see Sonic Fox as a professional. He is the same person that got on stage and did that cringy speech that was completely unrelated to what was going on. He's made multiple posts that I deem to be extremely childish. He's behaved in childish ways.
But he is considered a professional, and he's seeking out sponsorships, and I'm a free agent. So you are acting as a professional.
But I don't think that does that constitute you being a professional just because you're trying to get paid because you're playing the game.
Okay, well then there's no professional gamers. Then we gotta abolish the term.
No, but when people are saying a professional, they're saying that they're basically trying to make her like he's suited and booted for work and he's a model citizen and he's the pillar of like what to do in the FGC. And I don't feel like he ever painted himself that way.
Wait, hold on. Yes, he has.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
If you're going to go around calling people a bad person and shit, you open that door. But you can't. Nope. And also, I want to say this because I'm tired of hearing this shit. I know we playing the devil advocate shit, and it's cute and it's fun sometimes, just like a hug before you get a nice smooch. But let's be serious here. The whole professional gamer shit. Everybody is at a certain. Apparently, like. When it's me, you got to be the model citizen. It doesn't give a fuck who you are. You got to be like this. And not just because, you went on stage and said you're this, you're that. By the way, we haven't heard an update. Can I get a check-in? Because usually after an event, we usually get a check-in. Is he still?
I think
I don't know. We ain't saying that. All right. So what I'm saying is like, if you're going to be a professional, you got to be a professional 24/7 all the time. That means you get your back blown out, whether you like it or you don't like it. You go on stage and you shake hands with Ed Boon. Thanks for the opportunity. Shut the fuck up. Get on the plane. Go home. Then say whatever, right? But now we saying, well, he ain't always been like this.
PL's like that movie, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where he's like, did you say, and pulls out the book. PL has the book of everything Sonic Fox has ever done or said. He just
I'm just saying that,
the
like,
book.
I'm not trying to rewrite Sonic Fox's online history. I'm just saying, has he painted himself as a professional, or have other people painted him that way? Because those are two different things.
Well,
did he step up to the pedestal, or did he get put on the pedestal?
Some days you're not. Like, what? Come on, man.
No, but what C4 said is true. Did people put him on a pedestal, or did he step on that pedestal himself and look down on everyone else? That's what I'm asking. Because if people see you a certain way, right? Let's say, Tom, for example, let's say I'm not a professional. We just kind of shoot the shit on the podcast. We see what happens. I ain't got no real plan for the channel. I kind of just wake up and see what happens. So if people started putting me on a pedestal saying, no, Mike, you're a professional, you got to be, I'm like, no, I didn't sign up for that. You can't. And so what I'm asking is that the case with Sonic Fox? Are people putting him on the pedestal and then saying you can't be that way? Or did he put himself there and now he's being a hypocrite?
So we're just going to give people passes for not having class.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
This applies to anything in life that has an audience, right? Hey, I never asked for this. Yeah.
But they are two different things, right?
Can you imagine an NFL quarterback going, I didn't ask for the fame. I didn't. What did you expect? Like, Sonic, hey, I never asked to be seen as a professional gamer when I say I'm a free agent and say, hey, I've taken several offers from a sponsor, but so far no one's really caught my eye. Don't forget to shoot your shot. Bro, you're putting it out that you're a pro player, shoot your shot, making me an offer, but you can't pick and choose publicly when that's which in your private life, do whatever the fuck you want, right? But again, look, the hardest part for me of retiring was like in the real world, I'm just some regular fucking guy. Nobody gives a shit about me. I do well for myself, got a good life, good family, successful now. But I go to the food store and no one knows me from the guy, asking for liquor on the corner, right? I mean, nobody cares. But in the FGC, and this was so tempting for young players, it's that clout, you know what I mean? That people do know who you are. They at least when I was, well,
yeah, every other, like you might see this on Twitter sometimes. It's kind of funny to me because honestly, like I treat this like I don't want to run into anybody that I know from gaming in real life. I don't want to be recognized at all. I want to just do whatever fuck I do and come back, right? And people were like, "Oh my god, I got recognized today!" Suck my dick. Like
I used to say,
like,
gaming was. I used to always say gaming was awesome.
Like that, and I'm just like, this is so corny.
I used to say the good thing about gaming or being a pro player is you only get recognized when you want to be recognized. So you can go to events, and if you're a top player, one of the best in the world, you're a big deal. You have influence. People know who you are. You have an audience. But then when you lose, or if you don't win, unlike LeBron James, who can't, or Kobe Bryant, whoever can't go home without turning on every news station and hearing about how terrible you are or how you blew it or how you choked. And the FGC, that can happen to you, and you get to go home and you don't have to put up with that. So win or lose, and then you can leave that world and go back to the regular world, and you don't have to hear about that. We do enjoy those perks as a fighting game player, that when we are in our fighting game world, people know us, they recognize it. We're not just any regular old person. And Sonic enjoys that the same as everyone else does. So what I mean is he gets to enjoy the perks of being Sonic Fox while seeming to not understanding the downside to being Sonic Fox. In life, whether you ask for something or not, life is what it is. So just because you didn't ask for it doesn't mean that doesn't come along with it anyway. So he may not have asked for it. He just wanted to play games. But what do you think happens when esports and it comes with it. I think he should have gone to the ceremony. So
I know you got super chats to ask to read, Mike. I just wanted to ask a question to Pio and Tom. Do you think there's a difference between? So when you make the comparison with like sports players, I don't know if this applies to sports. Maybe there is a sports personality or person who's like this, but I think something different with fighting games is that you can get people, sometimes they're called button monkeys, but when you see a really good player that isn't marketable, like they're super awkward, they have no filter, you can't do anything with them, you can't use them for like advertising or promotion, but they're really good at games. Would you call that person a professional gamer when sponsors will not touch them? Like they're nuclear because they're just not trustworthy, or like, like you must have I don't want to put anyone's name out there, but someone who's really good at games, but they are not marketable. Would you call that person a professional fighting game player?
All right, I'll say this first. Like I never even like the whole professional gamer and esports terms and stuff. We really weren't using that shit when I first came to the scene, and like for the first year or so, we wasn't really even saying that shit or using that shit. We used to just say competitive player, and that was it. And right. I just feel like everybody is within the competitive player umbrella. I'm actually tired of the professional player term or even saying esports, because those terms are only used for the people who can barely use their fucking computers, but they got money and can invest in shit. So they use those terms to sell them on whatever it is. So then they can, I don't know, they try to get money from them and shit. That's the only reason those terms even became anything. Because all these people in those meetings and stuff, they don't know shit from shit. And they're like, oh, this is cool. What's this? And then there's somebody else that's also trying to capitalize. So that's where those terms came from. So like, I don't like to look at players like, oh, that person's professional or that person's whatever. It's like, look, you know how to play the game or you don't know how to play the game. and that's it. But yeah, once we start talking about these events and stuff and award shows and being on stream and all that, there's a certain way you need to present yourself and class to have, whether we want to say professional or not. Mm-hmm. But no, I wouldn't be like, yeah, that guy's a professional. Like, I just think the skill level is always like, you can play at the highest level or you can't. And whether you got a sponsor on your back or a jersey or something, that shit doesn't matter. Like, you can show up and just beat whoever as long as you got the same skill and you put the same time in. Mm-hmm. I wish we could just like get rid of that the whole term and stuff, because people try to separate like, oh, these are the professional players because they were able to get somebody to want to give them a salary even though they might beat nobody. There's plenty of players who are sponsored that have never won anything, and they're sponsored because somebody likes them or whatever shit that they represent on social media, and that doesn't make them a professional to me.
Yep,
it doesn't.
I agree.
There's no professional basketball player who's just ass. All of them are on teams. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got
some of them not marketable though. Are some of them like brands won't touch them?
I mean, like, you could say that, like, okay, people say somebody like Anthony Edwards isn't marketable because of how he presents himself. But he's definitely being marketed because he's good enough and still, I guess, has enough composure to still like talk and make deals and stuff. But I don't know. I think just highlighting the skill and speaking on the correct like level they're at competitively, I think we should focus on more. But to answer your question, no, I wouldn't be like random Joe Schmo who's really good at the game, but he just whatever is. If anything, we should have a better term for. But he's not polished. Like, if he's just saying whatever, being disrespectful, or just, you know, has no filter and stuff, clearly they can't be on camera or on a mic yet. So,
I mean, to me, this is just weird for me because, like I said, Sonic knows this stuff about fighting game tournaments. They've always been like this. Seeding is always bad. Events are run poorly. Every once in the blue moon, you have a match that has to be restarted for some random reason, setup reason, whatever reason. It happens. It's not okay if it happens to him, I guess. But I mean, like, this happens all the time. This has happened to Sonic before. Maybe not the restarting the match, but he's definitely gone to tournaments before where seating was bad. It was not ran well. Probably the venue wasn't the best. This is not the first time. I mean, that's just part of fighting games. I mean, if you're in the FGC, if you're trying to get into the FGC, some of these tournaments, brother, not the best experience. I mean, that's just how.
I'll read out this super chat and then we'll move on to Tom. I know you got some things you want to say to the community, so I'll quickly read this one out. Lexi, thank you for the $10. What I was saying was, Tom said Ernesto doesn't make videos when other people complain, but at the same time he said you enjoy all the perks of not being a regular guy, which sounds contradictory to me. Do you want to respond to that, Tom?
Ernesto doesn't make videos when other people complain. Well,
enjoy the perks of not being a regular guy. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I don't think so.
It's not contradictory because what I'm saying is he enjoys all the perks of not being a regular guy. I understand what she's saying, that like, well, Ernesto doesn't make stuff for regular guys. So like, I understand that. But what I'm trying to say, Alexis, is he enjoys the perks of being Sonic Fox without some of the downside of things he may not like to being Sonic Fox, which means when you got Ed Boon there, you are their chosen champion, NRS will move mountains for Sonic Fox. They won't. What people believe it or not, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that he has a hand in doing things, but they take what he says very seriously, right? Which, I mean, neither here nor there. But I don't like any pro player having any influence on anyone's decisions. They can make their own minds up, but I think you have to realize the human nature of a person playing for money is to just naturally say, it'd be nice if it was more along the lines of what I like. I mean, I'm not saying they have to do it, and I don't think they do it because I don't think he tells them what to do and they say, yes, you do it. My point is he enjoys a lot of the perks, but this is stuff, again, this happens to everyone. So like this happens to absolutely everyone. And it happens to Sonic Fox, and it's like, hey, I do expect, or people do expect Sonic Fox to act or carry themselves better than the average person does in that situation. You are a tournament veteran. You understand these things happen. Clearly, you understand when it happens to other people, nobody cares. I just don't. I mean, he tweeted it. It didn't have to be made to be a big of a deal. My point was just because people cared, nobody would have cared if it was anybody else.
All right. Well, let's move on to the I guess the next portion of the podcast. I know that there's a couple of people you want to call out, Tom, and a couple of things you want to go over. So,
well, it's not about as much to call out.
I will just say, just before Tom gets into it, I will. Tom's happy for people to come on and challenge him. So I know that there's probably people watching that want to. So at some point when you're done talking, Tom, then we'll get people on.
This Final Kombat thing, like I just looked at it and I was like, I don't understand when the NRS community is going to stop letting this happen. From bad products now to now bad events, and it's still, okay, next time NRS does something, we'll just like when does it stop? Like they can treat you how they want, do whatever they want, throw garbage products out, not caring, if it's good or bad. When does it stop? And the main reason why this can never stop is social media is I hate when people say, well, nobody cares what these people, what the players think. Bro, social media is a very powerful tool. People who are big enough on social media and command an influence, those people do care what those people have to say because they command an influence. What Maximilian says, for example, does matter. It matters. Guys, Super has 1 million followers. If you took Ketchup and Mustard, Destroyer, Honeybee, Super, and True Underdog, it's right around 2 million followers on YouTube. Holy shit. 2 million people. Because between a few of them that have a few 100,000 to Underdog, who has almost 500,000, Super that has 1 million, you're dealing with massive numbers. And my issue is you've got people who will now talk about the issues that the game has had during its first year, but didn't say anything about those issues during the first year of the game. Now that it's all said and done, they'll say, oh, look at how bad the game is. I mean, everything about MK1 was a disaster. From the first year to
T1000 was dope, though.
All right, man. So
I can't get for T1. I can't get +1 T1000 or something at least.
So
that's the one. Come on. That DLC character, the way he puddles across the screen, that shit is tight.
I don't care. I mean,
see, that's why Sub-Zero got what he got. See, because you don't appreciate the things that can be appreciated.
I appreciate it, man. I just don't appreciate it in this game. So when you have this, like Aquaman went on a podcast before and said, hey, I'll acknowledge the issues of the game. But if you go back and you look, like Ketchup and Mustard, they're very good content creators. They're people who they don't get too high, they don't get too low. They're very much like, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all, which is great when you're in grade school. When you're dealing with billion-dollar corporations, those people use that policy to say, yeah, Don't say anything at all if it's not nice, and we'll just keep making money hand over fist because nobody's going to say anything. That's when you do say something. If you go and look at Ketchup and Mustard's channel around the time when MK1 was at its worst, I made a small clip, Mike, I'd like to share with you, actually. I will send it over to you. I've made one for everyone, but for the time being, we'll just show this one for right now. Let me go ahead and send this clip over to you. Hold on here.
Isaiah, thank you for the $2. We didn't buy Chaos Reigns. It's already stocking. Yeah, I didn't buy either.
No, you got it for free, right?
Yeah, I've got a code.
Yeah,
that was a funny stream because we were all in disbelief of what we were seeing.
Yeah, I mean the story was, it's it is what it is, man.
It was terrible.
What can you do? All right, what can you do? All right, let me go ahead and link this to you very quickly. Too bad I can't put it in this chat here. I gotta put it as unlisted and then send it to you. All right, here we go.
Are you sending it to me on Twitter?
I'm sending it to you now. I'm just sending it over to you now.
Is the chat going to play MK Legacy Collection?
Am I going to play it? Probably not. I might buy it just to have it, just in case I want to play it. But I can't see myself sitting down and playing it.
There you go.
I don't have much interest in the old Mortal Kombat games. I wanted. Oh, it's just Ketchup and Mustard.
Yeah, I made this clip here. I like to show evidence with stuff, like I don't believe in saying something and then not supporting something,
All right. Let me put it up on screen. So you just want me to play, yeah?
Yeah, good. Yeah, play it. All right, everyone watching Mike Hollows podcast, thanks for tuning in. So I want to kind of show video or evidence for everything that I'm going to say. I don't believe in making baseless talking points, despite what the community says. It's another lie the community tells. Obviously, undoubtedly, we're talking about Ketchup and Mustard right now, and I'm going to show some clips here. So I think Ketchup and Mustard are great content creators. However, I do believe that, they have a very much like they don't get too high, don't get too low, which is a good thing. But it's not necessarily a good thing when it comes to corporate greed. And when you have the practices that NRS and Warner Brothers are currently engaging in, and they are putting out these bad products, this is where you want to say something. Otherwise, these companies worth billions of dollars are just going to, hundreds of millions to billions of dollars are just going to keep putting out bad products and making money hand over fist. So in this clip here, which I made 6 months into the game, it says 1 year ago, but if you see the date, it's March 2024. And I'm highlighting some of the content creators, and one of them I highlighted was Ketchup and Mustard, in that their content, 6 months into this game should be exploding with content, right? 6 months into the game, their content mirrored what we saw during the last 2 years of MK11, because we saw, like, Rio started this trend when there was no more content for MK11, but we had 2 years of no new content. He started this trend of best and worst version of everything in NRS history, things like that. And a lot of content creators kind of took that and ran with it, which again is a good thing. I quite enjoy watching a lot of that, the history down memory lane. However, to do that 6 months into MK1, I mean, with all the issues going on in the game, and this is where like the issues were at their height of like just wow, bad. Instead of highlighting these things, they went back to best and worst XYZ in MK history. So let me tell you the clip, show the clip here, and then we'll go to their page. So now, when MK11, they announced it was done and there was no new content. Let's bring up the content creators here. When they announced there was no new content, we saw a lot of videos that were for 2 years, best and worst version of XYZ in MK history and NRS history. And then MK1 came out, and there was maybe a week or two of all MK1 content. But look what we're back to here. We're right back to 5 terrible moves that belong to broken MK characters. 5 broken moves belonging to bad Mortal Kombat characters. We see a couple of MK1 stuff. So basically, what I'm saying here is there was a burst of a ton of MK1 content, but again, 6 months in, it's a very shallow game. There's not that much to talk about, but you could talk about, hey, the issues the game has while there's time to fix it. Talking about the issues now is irrelevant because you can, again, what a lot of these people will do is say, hey, I'll be the first to admit, year 1 wasn't very good, but where is that here? Instead, they will do it after the fact. And I'm not saying ketchup and mustard. I mean, I'm sure they'll say, hey, year 1 wasn't very good at all. And they'll talk about that. But they're really not hitting that on the head as hard as that or at all during year 1 of the game. Instead, we're seeing a lot of the same content that we saw during the last 2 years of MK11 when there was nothing to talk about. And here's the exact page here that we're at, just so you guys can see the same screenshot here. And they all say 1 year ago, but as we all know in my video, these were from March of 2020, 2024. 2020. I'm old, guys. So March of 2024. So what we see here is 5 NRS characters that received these all say 1 year ago, but we know again from my video, these were from March of 2024. 5 NRS characters that received devastating nerfs. 5 terrible moves belonging to broken characters. Peacemaker Cyrex, there's MK1 content. Quan Chi stuff, there we go. But now we're right back to 5 broken moves belonging to bad characters. There's the Peacemaker trailer. Kano, the original troublemaker, most broken special move in every Mortal Kombat game. The infrared scorpion picture here. 5 dirty tactics in Mortal Kombat history. Bosses made easy. Tekken 8 is here. Yeah, it's cool. They cover multiple games, so that's no problem with that. How did they do it? Portable 3D MK was a massive achievement. There's Chameleon, early top tier. Okay. Why MKDC was such a diverse game. 5 unpopular MK characters that were amazing at high level. Okay, there's Quan Chi. This row is a good thing. 50% of these are MK1, the other 50% are not. The worst moves in every MK game. Chess Combat Madness, one of the best MK games, not a fighting game. Darius has a major. So that now, if we look at the rows we're seeing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 videos that have nothing to do with MK1. Then we see, what is it? The Quan Chi video, the Chameleon video, and Darius. So 3. So the percentage of videos that are MK1 related to not MK1 related, and this is not less than 1 year into the game, 6 months into the game, where the content should be like off the chart. But rather than highlight the issues with the game that we know ended up killing it, people had enough, and Chaos Reigns didn't sell well. We're talking about the best and worst in MK history. By the way, you're talking about MKDC. Probably should have consulted some of us MKDC players, but I'm the devil. Hands off. Had to throw that in. You know why you don't. All right, so I did this for a few of the content creators because I want to be fair to all of them. And my point isn't that Ketchup and Mustard did anything wrong or said anything wrong. It's that when the game is literally catastrophically ending, a lot of these people that matter don't say anything at all. And then years after the fact, or when it's over and done, we'll say, well, maybe this or maybe that. But when it's happening, we're talking about the best this in MK history, the best that in MK. Bosses made easy. This is when MK1 was at its worst, when we really need people not named Mike Hollow and Tom Brady to say something. And then it's like, nope, we're not going to say anything at all. The game's in a bad place. We're just going to keep it moving and hopefully it gets better. Nobody gives a fuck what us peons have to say. But people like Ketchup and Mustard are a big deal. And there are multiple content creators. I have videos for all of them. And even if you talk about like, and I'm going to show a clip of this as well, Destroyer, Honeybee, Super, True Underdog. These guys have the collection between them and Ketchup and Mustard is right around 2 million people.
And with me, they have 2,018,000.
And they don't say anything at all. I think the example I make is the way they talk about the game is like, and I stole this from one of my people in my chat, eating a slice of pizza that has shit on it, but you say that the crust is bad and nothing about the pizza, but hey, I'm critiquing it. You know, hey, I said the crust wasn't good, right? But you're not talking about the pile of shit on the actual pizza. That's how Super critiques the game. And the rest, I understand you want to be positive. I understand Destroyer. I love Destroyer. Honeybee, you want to be positive. I get it. Junior, you want to be positive. But being positive or trying to find positivity when there are issues that are going to kill the game and end it, you probably should say something. Because we need these guys. People, NRS, as long as these guys do what they do, NRS can go on and look and say, nothing to see here. So many talking points from top content creators saying the game is better. The game is saved. Best place the game has ever been in. And if you're NRS, you're like, yeah, everything's, most balanced, the most best, the most blah, 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 right?
I guess it's good to have Jay here as well, because obviously me and Jay being in the Tekken community, that is very different to what happened with us. When we didn't get a game that we liked, the Tekken community blew Namco up. Like, it went everywhere. There were news articles written about that.
Of course.
Yeah.
And also,
Now go ahead.
I got one more clip for you too here. These are both of these were like 5 minutes. The Ketchup and Tweety one. After that, they're really short. But I do feel like if I'm going to talk about people, that I need to be very fair and show an example rather than just, hey guys, take my word for it. You know, trust me. You know, so Tweety is another one. I want to be fair. I love Tweety. I do. And even though he has this, almost 40K followers on YouTube and Twitch, he's still, a lot of people love Tweety, and rightfully so. He's got a following that really loves this guy and respects what he has to say as someone who's very knowledgeable. Go ahead and roll that clip, please.
All right. Let's see.
So next we're going to come to Tweety. So Tweety, very happy for success at Final Kombat. Wish him nothing but the best. Have no issue with Tweety whatsoever. None. He calls himself an MK. So I don't have an issue personally with any of these people. I'm just kind of showing the examples here. So Tweety has oftentimes said he's a quote unquote MK1 enjoyer. Look, fun is subjective. If it's fun for Tweety, it doesn't matter who it's not fun for. If he enjoys it and wants to make content for what he enjoys, that's fine. And Tweety on several occasions has said, hey, listen, compared to the games he used to compete in, coming to MK1 is like if you were eating at McDonald's all the time and you went to a restaurant just a little bit better, you would think that was a 5-star restaurant next to the McDonald's. So he's basically saying to him, MK1 is just fine when you look at what the games he was coming from, which is fine. And he's totally fine in feeling that way. And I understand that. My issue is that when people hit the issues that are really wrong with the game, especially during its first year, especially also when Chaos Reigns came out, and like myself and Mike Hollow were like, hey, these issues during the time when we said the issues were going to kill the game, Tweety has said that labeled this type of talk doomer talk, or quote unquote people shitting on the game. And these are direct quotes from a lot of these videos where people are being hella negative and shitting on the game. No one is shitting on the game. They are trying to tell you guys what was wrong with the game is not being fixed, and it will kill the game. So then when Chaos Reigns came out, and a month in, before the leaker even came out, Fate Unknown, myself and Mike Hollow said, this is it. This is going to kill the game. They didn't fix anything. We expect to hear like it's over. And then a month into that, Fate Unknown comes out and says it is over. So when myself and Mike Hollow talked about it, a few months later, it was, Tweety had his comments on that. There was a patch that was done, and Tweety had his comments during the patch notes in which he basically said, like, we're basically doomers. And instead of saying that we told the truth, it was, we have an ulterior motive, that we're doing it for, other reasons. We're not really telling the truth. We have an ulterior motive to actually do it. Let's go ahead and play that clip here.
Now, here's the thing. People call me a shill about this game because I'm just honest. Because let's be real. You see people like Tom Brady, Mike Hollow, and these other people, they're like making hella money off of MK because they're negative about it. You can make a video just being negative about MK, 20K, 30K people will show up. You make a positive video about MK, 1K people show up. You know what I mean? So I be positive about the game, or I'm being positive about the game a lot, and people say I'm a shill. I would actually be like a shill to be negative, because then I would get rewarded. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like I don't get rewarded to be positive.
Okay, so all right, so that was the clip. Tweety, you don't get rewarded. So let's talk about his honesty here. This is 2 months ago. Why even insinuate that the game could be saved? No, it's over. And the issues were severe. This is the honesty. This is from April 16 and March 27th. The Cassie Cage thumbnail is from April 16, and the Raiden thumbnail is from March 27 of 24. So about a little over a year ago, 3 months ago, somewhere along those lines. Save MK1. We see a lot of common themes that when these patches come out, people insinuate that the patches are great. Step right. Tweety has been one. Well, Tweety has, I will give him credit, he has critiqued the issues as far as like slightly. The single play, the lack of game modes, the no training mode in ranked, and these type of issues, no lobbies. He has hit on these. But these are like minimal issues to him, which is fine. It's not important to everyone. But however, the gameplay stuff is huge. It's a huge issue as well. And makes it seem like, the gameplay doesn't, and again, he doesn't agree with us, which is fine. However, to insinuate that there could be any hope that the game is saved, and many content creators, every patch, did this save the game, step in the right direction. Tweety is one of those where a lot of these patches step in the right direction, best state the game has ever been in, et cetera, which just simply is not true. None of these patches in the first year were wins. None of them. This is before Final Kombat, where we saw 2 characters and 2 cameos. It's just not possible that the game was ever heading in the right direction when we saw the first Final Kombat, I should say. When we saw it the first Final Kombat. So, again, a lot of these content. Yeah, that's about it. You can. That was the point. So
just to address the chat, I don't hate Tweety at all. By the way, I find it funny when
I don't hate him.
I sent him a message the other day, and I said to him, "I hope he's okay," because apparently he almost lost his leg or something, or like he almost died.
He had a heart attack.
I said to him, he didn't reply to it, but I said we disagree on Mortal Kombat, but I don't hate you, and I hope he loses the weight and he gets fit.
Absolutely.
But his video was nonsense.
He had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Something happened to him.
He's almost 600 pounds. So the thing is, though, Tweety is one, like many others, who after multiple patches was trying to be positive about the game. I get it. You want to be positive. Everything that you thought wasn't a problem ended the fucking game. Like everything that you thought was not a big deal ended the goddamn game. What are you being positive of? And 2 months ago, is the game saved? No, it wasn't saved. It's over. No, there's no saving it. And while the game was happening, and there are people who are insinuating this is not going to end well. It's not a good game. It's not a good product. Doomers being negative, shitting on the game. Telling the truth is not shitting on the game. Sometimes people do shit on things. It's very common on the internet. But sometimes people who are knowledgeable are telling the truth. And Mortal Kombat has this thing where you just blindly say it's good just to say it, just because you don't want to be negative. It's a very toxic kind of culture where any real criticism talking about the problems. And I like Tweety, but I mean, this is kind of like the issues were completely ignored. How patch after patch, step in the right direction, best state the game has ever been in, et cetera, et cetera. There's another video I'm not going to play. Foxy Grandpa, for example, and Tweety's made these points as well, where he made a video where he said it's called the most disrespected fighting game. I think I linked it to you once, Mike. You know, just and he brought up, you know, the Evo and, you know, the reason why MK is kind of dunked on so much. He went to MK, brought up MK9. He took a history lesson and he said, you know, Street Fighter 4 is the FGC Renaissance, which it is. Marvel 2 is the mother of all fighting games, and Street Fighter 4 is the father. Marvel 2 birthed the modern FGC, and Street Fighter, when it was kind of dying off, breathed some life back into it in 4. And then he brought up MK9. You know, the whole time tournament scene was being built, MK was out of sight, out of mind. And here comes MK, and it's not like you had guys like Justin Wong and Flo, Chris G, Street Fighter guys who are winning right away. And then the NRS scene started to become, you know, more into the game, and they weren't winning anymore. And that they, you know, there were some differences. They just didn't like the game because it wasn't like Street Fighter. First of all, maybe not Foxy, but other people have brought up back in the day how some of these Capcom people would crap on the game. Let me tell you the real truth here. The NRS community shit all over Justin Wong when he came to Mortal Kombat. All they would do is tell him to go back to Street Fighter. He went to a tournament in Canada Cup, and all they did was tell him, go back to Street Fighter. And then he lost, and they shit on him. Then later on, he said, yeah, this game is ass. Oh, can you believe what Justin said? You shit on the guy for the whole tournament and told him to go back to Street Fighter. And then there was a UFGT in which Justin Wong, he entered for fun, played a girl in losers, Goldfish Keeper, was eliminated by her. He's just playing for fun. That's great for us, where someone like Justin is still playing the game for fun. It brings eyes to the game that a lot of us can't bring. What does the NRS community do? Oh, what an idiot. Why is he even playing? He's so garbage. Are you fucking stupid, right? They shit on, they did the same thing to someone like KDZ in Injustice 1. They're shitting on him for the first few months. He wins Evo. Then he says skill gap. And the NRS community is like, what the fuck? Skill gap? What? They shit on people all the time. They shit on PL. He wins Evo. Doesn't play for almost a year. Comes back. Shit on him. He wins another Evo. Says, hey, fuck you guys. My God, this is why no one likes PL. You hear what he says to us? The NRS community shits on people all the time and then plays victim when it doesn't work out for them. Can you believe the Street Fighter guys? Why you told me to go back to Street Fighter? What are you talking about? And Foxy tried to make it like, oh, the Street Fighter. And MK is not like Street Fighter. The fireballs don't like crash, crouching jab. Fireballs don't clash, crouching jabs, no DPs. They don't have any problem there. Flo, Justin Wong, Chris G, they're not stupid. They know what Mortal Kombat play. They know fireballs don't clash. They know Mortal Kombat uses strings. They're not unaware of these facts. And most people, when they play another game that doesn't play like Street Fighter or some other Capcom game, they just play the game for a little bit and then they go back to Street Fighter without dunking on said game. They're not dunking on it because it doesn't play like Street Fighter. They had issues with legitimate bugs in MK9, which were unfixable because of the technology just for NanoRouse wasn't around for that time to do that. And it really had nothing. And MK9 was treated very well. They shit on Tekken for Mortal Kombat. That Mortal Kombat was gifted a premier spot right under the Capcom umbrella. There was that one Texas Showdown incident, but I don't think many games were held well at that thing where they
Tom,
put us
can
in the
I just say something?
Sure.
Maybe Jay can help me out with this as well. I know that like they were saying that to Justin Wong about piss off back to your game, but I feel like the Tekken scene might be pretty guilty of that as well. Like when somebody jumps onto Tekken and they lose, we tear the shit out of them.
But at least if they would win, like KDZ, and talk some shit back, you guys wouldn't act like, oh, where's that coming from? I mean, like, you guys would understand where it's coming from, right? Or if you're
Tekken are near enough kind of toxic as well. Like, I think
the FGC is all toxic overall, but you guys don't pretend like, I don't know why somebody would talk about Tekken. The gameplay doesn't have anything to do with it. I mean, like, you guys are not that stupid. You know what I mean? Like, when Evo numbers were significantly lower, Arslan Ash and both me were like on Twitter, could it be the gameplay has a reason to do with it? Here's the NRS community. It's a conspiracy. The world hates us. They just keep us down on purpose. Like, dude, could your game have anything to do with it? So Foxy leaves out that MK9 was treated amazing. Well, they literally shoved Tekken in the fucking sewer for Mortal Kombat. Most tournaments had the Capcom umbrella. Then right after that, it was MK. That's how the top 8s were. The final games were MK, then the Capcom games. Tekken was, God, is Tekken over with yet? My God, get this shit out of here. That's how these people treated Tekken. And
was that around the Tekken 6 Tag 2 era?
Yes, yes. And MK was treated very well.
I mean,
very well.
To be fair, I don't think the Tekken community treated their own game very well back then either.
But Tekken 6 was treated very well. Tekken Crash was pretty hot. I love Tekken 6.
But Tag 2, like that.
Yeah, Tag 2.
That was a rough patch.
No, Tag 2 was rough. But
Tag 2 was a good game, though. I don't understand that. People now.
I agree it was a good game.
Are saying the game is good.
Yeah.
But back then, when Tekken 7 was good, people are saying Tag 2 was bad and it done bad sales.
They're saying that because we're in such a state right now that now they're looking back and going, oh, do you know what? It wasn't so bad.
It wasn't so bad, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tekken Tag 2 wasn't so bad, but it took Tekken 8 for people to go, that game was actually pretty good.
Actually pretty good.
Exactly.
But the point is that MK wasn't treated poorly at all. See, NRS never had to fight for anything. They just came in and poof, your game is ingratiated by every tournament. This notion that Evo hated on it, Evo treated MK9 very good. Even gave it a third Evo and made it a actual official Evo game, not a side tournament game. Then there's MKX. The first MK scene was growing. The first MKX had 1,100 people, and they treated us very well. And our top 8 was on Sunday, main stage day, and it was very well received, and they treated it very well. Year 2, we had only 700 people, still pretty good, much higher than other numbers of MK9. You still see improvement in the game. The game is still hasn't died off, but there were just other games that had more interest. So they put those games, the top 32s and top 64s, they put those games, the top 32s, on the big screen, the Titantrons. And MK, they said, you guys are going to be in the corner over here, and you're going to play your top 32 there. Now, our top 8 was still in the stadium. Like every other game, our top 8 was still in the stadium. Oh, well, it was 9 a.m. Brother, I mean, the stadium was empty, and it wasn't because it wasn't 9 a.m. But they put us there for the top 32. Now, many of other games have eaten shit on their way up. The Street Fighter players during Third Strike, when Marvel 2 was the game, hey, yeah, your Street Fighter setup, it's all the way back there. Go ahead and sit on the floor and play. When these scenes were being built, they paid their dues as they were coming up. Tekken, the middle ground of Tekken, the end of Tekken 5 before DR, man, those had some tournaments. They would go to Capcom tournaments. Tekken 5 was there. Yeah, your Tekken setup all the way in the back on the concrete, bitches. Sit on the floor over there. Yeah, you're all the way back there. Nobody cares about you, right? Every scene had to put up with that. And then there's the Mortal Kombat scene who has to put up with very little of it. And the minute they pay their dues, God forbid, like every other scene did, oh, they hate us. They hate us. Your breaker bracket was run well. Your top 64 was run well. They put you in the back for the top 32. Your top 8 was on Sunday in the main stadium. What are you talking about? Shut the fuck up. But oh, Evo, they hate us. It's a conspiracy to hold us down. They just don't fucking like us. Lies. Then there's MK11, and Foxy brings up, oh, and MK11, we have the biggest Mortal Kombat tournament of all time. You have 1,500 people, best sales, best whatever. And here's how they mistreated you. They put their top 8 on Saturday. Tournament was won well. They didn't disrespect you. Your top 8 was on Saturday. Where's the disrespect? It's not Street Fighter and Tekken had more than you. There were other games, not those games on top 8 day as well. But however, if you notice the following January, Evo didn't put MK11 in. Strange that MK11 would have the most entrants ever in MK history, close to Street Fighter and Tekken's numbers. And just a few months later, they say it's off the Evo circuit altogether. Could the reason they did that have a reason of why they put it on Saturday? Like there was starting to be some unrest in like, is anything going to change? It's not viewing well. The players, while they were there, were not very happy with it. And the tournament numbers for MK immediately dropped to the floor after that Evo and have never recovered since. And the viewership numbers were starting to be like terrible. Could it be they put it there because they didn't think it would rate well viewership wise, and they didn't bring it back because they were like, the players aren't happy with it. It's things are not in a good state, so on and so forth. And of course, it came back because after COVID, they brought every game back. But to make it seem like they were shitting on MK for putting it on a Saturday, so what? So what? It's this delusion. And when you're Foxy, maybe he doesn't realize it. He's huge on Twitch. Not as big on YouTube, huge on Twitch. When you're Foxy or you're Tweety and you players respect what you have to say. And even, NetherRealm, when you have an audience of these people who respect what you have to say, and you put it out there that the gameplay has nothing to do with why the game is in the state it is, that it's a conspiracy theory, that the FGC is against Mortal Kombat for reasons that are completely invalid and not true at all, it's wrong. You need to be talking about the real issues that ended up killing the game or that will kill the game. And constantly the game, NRS, are always let off the hook. Always.
Well, what are some things that the NRS scene could do to improve going into the next Mortal Kombat game?
For one, if NRS does shit like this, and again, we're not going to show the other video, but I showed another in the next clip that I have. And if somebody wants to challenge me, I guess I'll put it on YouTube. I showed Destroyer, Honeybee, Super, and True Underdog. And if you scroll back to the first year of the game, in the time when things were at their worst, you see no content about it. None, not even a mention of it. And I get it. They want to be hyped. They want to be positive. Destroyer is amazing. My favorite content creator by a mile. I get you want to be positive. I get Super. You want to have kid gloves when you address the game. Because your viewers want to see the positivity. The problem is that when a game has so much wrong that it's going to kill the game, when you have the biggest voices with the most eyeballs on them are afraid that if they really hit this thing on the head, they're going to be seen as negative and all these things. That's a huge problem. That is the connotation around it. That is the narrative around it. That any of this is negativity and boo on you and I don't want to watch this negativity. The game is going to fucking die. And if somebody doesn't say something, and it did, and the people that have they don't give a fuck what I have to say. I am literally considered to be the Darth Sidious of the Mortal Kombat scene. That's how they look at me. So what I have to say is irrelevant. And it's so weird because in Tekken, the loudest voices were loud on the issues. They didn't stray away from talking about it. I mean,
well, let Jay answer.
Let Jay go ahead, Jay. It was so bad that I read it on Event Hubs. Ernesto talked about it. Other things were talking about it. It was big enough where it was being like people were like, "Why is the Tekken community on fire right now?" Right? People understood that there was a real issue, that it was on fire at the moment.
Do you know what? I think at the start, when people were watching, when people were playing the game, everyone was in that honeymoon period. I think I was one of the very small few that called out the game and said, nah, I don't think this game is there's a big issue with it. And people were flaming me for it. They were if you saw the tweet threads, people were absolutely flaming me for saying that the game needs work. And it's only when maybe towards, I'd say Lydia time, around Lydia, Heihachi time, things were getting a bit bad because people are there's just so much plus frames on certain moves. Characters were mad busted. You're quite close to characters when they're doing +5 on block moves. That's when people were all right, cool, yeah, the game is a bit mad. They're watching the tournaments, they're seeing Dragunov just run riot on everyone. So around that time, people were it wasn't that bad that we were speaking up. I'd say season 2, at the start of season 2, is when everyone was whoa, because they added a bunch. They added 3 new moves to each character plus more, and like everyone's like, wow, these moves are hella plus. Like on block, it's even worse than season 1. So that's when everyone's kind of spoken up, and I think no one really cared about Anna. But then even on top of it, Anna is like the best character in the game, and she's still not been changed. She was released in like April.
True.
We're in September. So now we're just seeing people that don't play Anna as their main pick up Anna and just destroy everyone in tournament. And it's like, this is boring to see.
But see, here's the difference. Here's the difference with Tekken.
I do want to say though, as someone that was as in both the MK and the Tekken community, for a long time I thought, oh, you know, if I open my mouth on Tekken and I rip into their game, they're going to be fine with it. That was not the case. I will say it was not as bad as the reaction I got from the MK community, but it was still pretty bad. It was not all sunshine and rainbows. And the MK community, I will say that the reaction, there was more of a reaction in terms of like volume, but it wasn't as visceral as the Tekken. The Tekken reaction was pretty like, what's the best word to describe how it was pretty like vitriolic. The Mortal Kombat one was a bit like, I felt like I was in a playground and people were pointing the finger at me and laughing. The Tekken one, I felt like I was in the hood and I was very close to getting run down. Like it had a slightly different feel, even though the Mortal Kombat one seemed to go on for a little bit longer.
But the difference,
just because I think Tekken everyone realized, wait a second, this game is actually fucked up. Whereas the MK crowd for a long time, they were like, no, like shut up, my blah blah blah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was rough, very very rough.
Yeah.
And also just on that note, I'd just like to say a special fuck you to Ditzel. It was brought to my attention yesterday that he was making a tier list, and he had me on like the top 10 weirdo creators. So I didn't get to see it because I was busy streaming. But I would just like to say, Dittel, on stream, and if I see you in person, go fuck yourself.
But the difference is between Tekken and Mortal Kombat is there are certain situations in which, you know, Bandai Namco owns the game. It is what it is, right? But Warner Brothers, for all the reasons that Warner Brothers fucks over the changes that we can make, you got to realize Warner Brothers also can help us make changes. In other words, if Mortal Kombat sold like Tekken right now, somebody from Warner Brothers would call in Ed Boon and say, what the fuck are you doing? And changes would happen. See, Namco, you don't have that guy. But even still, Tekken 7 happened because somebody called Harada in and said, look at these sales for Tekken Tag 2. What the fuck are you doing? Right? That's what happened. So they pivoted immediately away from that. If a lot of these creators came around and talked about these issues, and it actually, you had an effect and affected things in a certain way to where, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? You would see some changes happening because there is a parent company. See my point? And they would say, hey, what is going on here? And it would force someone there to say, okay, the people aren't happy. Why? And the people that have a big enough following kind of have that ability. Social media runs everything these days. Influencers are a big deal, no matter what anybody says. It's just, that's the way the world is. And for the ones here, they just kind of stay silent on it. And NRS is a series of Band-Aid mechanics in their gameplay. And I'm sure I'll do a video about it one day, but they Band-Aid everything. They've been doing it since MKX, more Band-Aids than 11, and MK1 is held together by Band-Aids. And
let me just read out this Band-Aid. Let me just read out these super chats real quick, Tom. Just because there's a call out. There's a call out in the chat. Well, there's only 2 that I haven't read so far. Tom, thank you for the $5. MKF30 is a prime example of some people just grow to be old, not smart. A tree branch growing into somebody's ass, like MKF30, for example. And then Tom said, I didn't waste my money at all. This is to help you out for your surgery to get that stick out of your ass, MKF30. I hope the operation goes smoothly, although the odds are stacked against you. Godspeed.
What's MK30? What's that?
It's a person in chat.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
they're roasting someone in the chat.
He's been around. He's been around since the beginning.
Oh, damn. Sorry, man.
But I mean, like, and again, wow, this is terrible.
but
Let me also say that there were several, I can't name who they are, but Blood Count also confirmed this to be the case when he was there. That there are people who NRS brought in as guest testers who made known to me, like there are things I wanted to say, but I got the feeling that they just brought us in to be yes men. And if we told them the truth, they just wouldn't invite us back. So that's it's kind of a thing where you can never improve because you just don't want to hear it. And
that's kind of the same on the Tekken side, though. And Jay can attest to this because Harada has this really bad habit of the community will be on Twitter saying, yo, this is a problem. They'll give constructive criticism. They'll point it out. They'll show you what the issue is and how to fix it. And Harada will respond to somebody that has an issue with Fakuram appearing on the start screen. And it's like, bro, come on, man. Like, we are calling out problems and you're replying to some dude that is complaining about the menu. Like, that seems like you're kind of like skirting responsibility or not trying to pay attention to what matters, because so it kind of happens to us as well, and it's very frustrating.
No,
do you want to know?
But,
do you want to know something?
But it's not always common with you guys until now, which is why it's a bigger deal because you had Tekken 7.
It's been like that.
But you had Tekken 7. You guys love T7.
No. Don't you remember that tweet Murray put out about the Hell Suite?
Yeah, not everyone liked Tekken 7. Like season 3 wasn't good. Season
it didn't start out great, but Tekken 7 probably had one of the best finishes to a game that I've ever seen, as far as like the end of a game.
Kunimitsu,
whereas NRS has some of the worst finishes that you'll ever see to a game.
Yeah, they're not comparable. Tekken definitely finishes in a better place compared. MK normally feels like it's just falling down the mountain.
And also, for those who want to say people are dunking on MK, this didn't happen in 9 and X. Is it a coincidence that this happened starting from 11 and 1? Is there a correlation with those two games and how the game is perceived? MK was never disrespected. Respect is earned. And when you no longer earn the respect, you don't get it. Just because it's Mortal Kombat doesn't mean it should get anything. And keep in mind, during MK11's lifespan, Maximilian wanted to do a Twitch Rivals. He could have picked any game. Could have picked Marvel 2 again, whatever he wants. He did MKX. Maximilian is a fan of MKX. Justin Wong has talked positively about X. And even now, he still talks positively about 9 when he doesn't have an arena of people shouting, fuck you, go back to Street Fighter. They remember these games fondly. They don't have the same fond memory of MK11. They don't have the same fond memory of MK1. And the problem is, whenever someone like myself who is knowledgeable talks about a lot of the issues, it is seen as salt, not winning, jealousy. And it's like, for what reason? There's no reason for any of that. It's like, and no one will ever say, hey, these guys were right. It killed the game. It's, we don't really know what happened. Like, again, just the cope is just extremely high.
Yeah, no, I think it's quite sad. I think the way how FGC responds to a lot of things in general, I know MK can be quite toxic, but I think
it's all that way now.
I like this year alone has shown me how toxic FGC Twitter can be. Like, just by far. Like, I didn't see it from before. I wasn't on Twitter. Well, I'd post up and then leave. But now I'm like, let me just see what everyone's saying about this. I've been doing a lot more reaction content and stuff, so I would like to see what people are saying. And man, that shit is just so negative, bro. Like, it's bad. Like, no one has like anything positive to say. Like, nothing. And it's like the way how I think the problem is people don't know how to project when they don't like something. It's like they go full on like disrespectful. And it's like, even sometimes the way how they talk to the devs, like sometimes they're saying like, fuck you to the devs. And I'm like, bro, whoa. Like, do you expect them to respond to you nicely? But in mind, we're speaking about Tekken. I have never had a response from Harada, ever. On Twitter, ever. Like everyone else, Nakatsu, everyone else, yes. But Harada never, ever.
But I mean, the way this game was handled was poorly. However, when people were not happy with Tekken Tag 2, Harada was like, all right, Move Tekken Revolution, Tekken 7. Here we come, right?
Mm.
And Tekken 7, when people weren't happy, it wasn't, yeah, too bad. It was, okay, how do I make it better? Right? And sometimes success makes you lazy. And Tekken 7, there is a direct correlation with developers all coming to the point, Tekken 8, I mean, to the point where they're like, how do I sell more copies? Get more people to want to buy the game. How do I get more people to want to buy the game? Make as many people as possible be able to feel like they're good at the game. What's the best way to bridge the skill gap, which developers have been trying to do for a long time? More 50-50s. And just make sure that you can't avoid them. That's every game is going that way. You know, now will Tekken 8 correct it? I don't know that it's correctable in this engine. But what we saw from Tag 2 to Tekken 7 and how Tekken 7 finished, I think there's a bit of grace that Namco might have with, okay, we're going to move on to the next Tekken. If it's got no heat, it's not got whatever. And they move on to something a little more favorable like they did with T7 from the beginning to end. All will be forgiven. NRS has been doing this for years. I mean, like from MK11 to this, even some things with MKX are a big Band-Aid mechanic. They never address them. They never fix them. They just make another game, throw some more Band-Aids on it.
How long do you think until another Mortal Kombat game drops?
Probably at least 2 more years. And
an announcement or an actual release?
An actual release. And honestly, I hope people don't buy it right away until like they know it's good. And if it's bad, it's never going to change, man. I mean, it's never going to change. It's never going to change.
What do you hope to see from the next Mortal Kombat game then? Like, what is it that you want for it to do to differentiate itself from what has come before it?
First of all, stop trying to reinvent the wheel. MKX did the variation system. The variation system, the whole point of it was to avoid bad matchups, which that's just part of fighting games, man. Trying to get rid of them is not going to work. The premise of the variation system, what we were told when we were there for testing is, well, in MK9, you had matchups where maybe your character had a bad matchup. Well, in MKX, the variation system idea was, well, instead of switching characters, you keep your character, but you switch variation. So that was the premise of it. So you're not switching characters. You're still playing your character. It didn't work for a million reasons. And it certainly didn't alleviate bad matchups. They still existed. The variation system worked for some characters. It didn't work for others. Because let's take Quan Chi for an example. Warlock variation was garbage, but Summoner and Sorcerer were good. But because Summoner and Sorcerer were so good, they had to give the character certain drawbacks. So otherwise he'd be this unbeatable character, right? Because he vortexes you in one variation, the other variation he's sitting on permanent armored portals, XYZ, right? So we've got to give the character's core kit some drawbacks. The problem is when you remove those powerful moves and give him the moves in Warlock, all those moves were not powerful enough to circumvent his drawbacks. So Warlock was a garbage variation because his drawbacks were way too heavy for what they gave him for the moves of that variation. So the variation system doesn't work for multiple instances. It's also not very good to split your character in 3. Splitting your character in 3 does not feel very good. Well, you know, in Street Fighter, they don't say, well, 3 variations. Do you want a DP, a fireball, or a hurricane kick? Can I have all 3 of them? No, because they're in 3 different variations. It just doesn't feel very good. It just wasn't a very good thing. And then that was kind of like a Band-Aid for bad matchups. Instead of realizing, I also need the NRS community to realize what actually makes a good fighting game. Balance is irrelevant when it comes to enjoyment. First, the game must be enjoyable, and then you can work on everything else. What makes a fighting game enjoyable? Well, that's subjective, and that's the point. What's fun for me won't be fun for you to fight. And what's fun for you ain't very fun for me to fight. But if I want what's fun, you have to have what's fun too. People have to realize that a great fighting game is balance to imbalance. Now, the level of imbalance developers can work on. But just like in MMA, styles make fights. They don't ban certain styles. You can have styles that are evenly matched. Some slight advantage against another, some slight disadvantage against another. Some lopsided based on the styles. When you open it up to allow for everything, you're going to have those situations. Fighting games are no different. When you open it up, so everyone's skill sets, what everyone finds enjoyable is in there, you're going to have some matches that are even, some that are disadvantage, some slight advantage, some really advantage or disadvantage. And everyone wants what's fun for them. They just don't necessarily like it when they're matched up with what's fun for someone else, and what's fun for them is hard for you. Good fighting games are...
Would you prioritize character archetypes again?
I would, because characters are triangle. Grappling, offense, defense. And there are many archetypes in what makes it offense. Let's take offense. So many forms of offense. Could be trapping, could be pressure, could be mix, could be a high flyer. So many different forms of offense. Defense. Are you a zoner? Are you a layman character? Are you a counter zoner? So many. Are you a form of a defensive trapper? Grapplers. Multiple forms of grappling. Let's just take a power zoner versus a grappler versus a high flyer. One's a grappler, one's offensive, one defensive. The zoner against the grappler, that's a struggle as old as time immemorial, right? That's going to be tough. Now, the high flying character against the zoner, they're all over the screen. Very difficult for the zoner. The high flyer against the grappler, eventually you're bringing yourself to that grappler. You're going to be on the ground. It's going to be his turn. And if you want to mash, you're going to go to Pain City. If you want to block mid-command throw, you get up, command throw. Now I'm going to mash, now I'm hit. Bringing yourself to a grappler is a very difficult thing because you've eliminated the problem of the grappler. How do I get in? Here we see three different versions of whatever. No one wins all three. They all beat each other in that triangle. You just take that example and expound it to every different style. There's no one that rules them all. No one form of offense, defense, or grappling that beats everything. But to do that, you're going to have these polarizing situations. In MK9, for example, would I much rather prefer like MK11, which was more balanced? Did I enjoy that Sub-Zero better? He didn't have hardly any bad matchups. In theory, I should have enjoyed the game because I don't have any of those super hard matchups that I had to deal with in MK9. However, I didn't enjoy it because it wasn't Sub-Zero. It wasn't my style. No character in the game played that way because they deemed it illegal because not fun for anyone else to deal with. I would much rather have played Sub-Zero and MK9 and deal with the super hard matchups because that was enjoyable to me. And you do what's enjoyable to you. And I can still have fun as long as, it's my job to figure out how to make my character do what it does against you, even if it's hard. And I still have fun because I'm playing my style my way, you're playing your way, and it's up to the better player to devise a strategy to win. Now, you can make some of those matchups less polarizing, and the game will still be good. However, removing the freedom of those styles is devastating. Fun is subjective, which is why you need to broaden it to as wide as possible. The NRS community has to accept that, your shit is annoying to somebody else, but somebody's shit is annoying to you. And if you want his shit out of the game, your shit's going to go too one day. And that's you have modern Mortal Kombat.
I want to ask you, Tom, just to change subjects a little bit. This is more of a personal question.
Yeah.
Which members of the community do you feel like have slighted you the most or caused you the most reputational damage?
Which members? Oh man, a lot of them, man.
Any prominent names that you feel like have pushed the narrative
that are currently
current or past or present?
There were times with 16-bit. Pig of the Hut and I respect Pig, but there was a time when we had a little back and forth. People just didn't realize it was a back and forth and thought it was serious, me being garbage, yada, yada, yada. There was a thing called the Skype Illuminati, where all they would do was bash me every minute of every day.
Wait, what? The
Skype
Illuminati?
Yeah, they would bash me constantly behind the scenes. I was like the biggest meme joke known to man. There was an issue in which I won an Injustice major tournament. It was the last major I actually won. The same number as MK1's first major numbers, actually. For those that say my tournament was small, your tournaments are smaller. 297, I win. And then I go to another tournament and I lose. I got like top 16 or whatever it was. And because Chris G won, there broke out this argument between the Midwest and the East Coast. But Chris G won. So their way to save face was, well, your champion that won last week, he's shit. And they just threw, and I'm like, I'm not even in this war between whatever. They said I won a local. I was garbage. I would never make top 8 again, despite I did. Every time I did, it didn't count. And and I have friends who say, and then community will also gaslight you. Nobody believes this. It's only the trolls. But if you use AI to Google the view on me, it ain't good. And a bunch of trolls didn't do that. People that have pull to influence people's decisions do that. Foxy Grandpa, I know he's joking around. I'm just trying to take a piss. Brother,
I don't know, man. I think you give too many. I think you give too many of these people. Like honestly, none of these people are your friends. Let's just keep it a buck. No, they're not actually your friends. Like
Foxy's crapped on me plenty of times.
Yeah, like people who are your friends don't just be doing shit the way.
Yeah.
So, like,
I mean,
none of these people are your friends. You just met them.
Yeah,
we thought like they were cool, but actually, at the end of the day, they're really not for real. These are some of like the wackest people I've ever.
I mean, there are some people that I'm on good terms now with, but during MKX, oh my gosh, man, like the absolute.
Is M2 Dave your friend?
Yeah.
What's why is it like just like brotherly banter? Because when you two speak on the podcast, it feels like there is some hatred there on his end.
No,
I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. That's how it comes across to me.
There's none there. There's none there. But I mean, just in general, like, or like when I retired, and I'm like, I'm done. For example, like the arguments people will use against me, against my opinions, right? Being considered relevant. First, they go to, he's garbage. He's salty. He's garbage. He's not winning. I am one of the most decorated Mortal Kombat players in history. In fact, probably more decorated than anyone over the years. Sonic's accomplishments have more magnitude because they are in the modern era and it's Evo. However, I was winning back in MK1 at a regional level. In fact, no one ever has won or placed top at a regional or then national level, going from the first MK1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then even 11 at a 91-man regional. No, I won and was top for so long, I even won a major in Injustice. No one has that tenure. And Mortal Kombat has changed more than any other game. So when they say Tom can't adapt, my history says I've adapted pretty much more than anyone. No one else has done what I've done from the first MK all the way till I retired. No one won through all eras outside of me. I'm the only one to do it. And obviously I'm retired now. So I'm not salty at people winning today because I won a lot. And I'm not salty at Sonic. I've did a lot. By far the greatest tournament Sub-Zero player of all time. As much as she's changed over the years from game to game, I've done it. So when I speak about him now, to act like Tom's some idiot, why would he know anything about Sub-Zero? My pedigree would suggest otherwise. My pedigree would suggest I'm not just some loser who never did anything. It is oftentimes said, when was the last time Tom did anything? MK9, he won one tournament, was never seen again. Lie. I mean, like, it was so much that people don't know because they just don't realize. Matter of fact, when people were naming their Mount Rushmores, they left me off of it. And the fact that no one else has accomplished these things, Sonic Fox is definitely on there and there's other names, but it's tough to keep me off the Mortal Kombat Mount Rushmore. I'm not on the NRS one, but the MK one, tough to keep me off of it. So they act like I'm some idiot as a player who doesn't know anything when my pedigree would suggest otherwise. Even someone like Foxy will say things, you haven't done anything since MK9. Not true. Won tournaments in Injustice. Wasn't like Omega top in MKX like I was 9, but you could argue me is still the top Sub-Zero in that game. Me, Madsen, etc. Buffalo. And I mean, because I don't want to play victim here, but I'm just saying that they use that against me. As in, like, why would he know anything? Whereas my pedigree would suggest this guy is very knowledgeable. Also, then when it comes to the money issue, the other thing they use against me is, isn't this guy some scammer? You know, and I'm going to just briefly touch on this. When you are as broke as I was, I made mistakes. I stayed in fighting games way too long, and I made mistakes.
So what I did, I just want to nod on that one.
What I did, I didn't scam anyone. I legitimately spent my money to go to the tournament. I got there and I said, I'm having fun with friends. I don't want to go. Rather than just saying that and not going, I don't know, was I going to keep the money? I don't know. I was broke. When you're broke, you do desperate things. Who knows? But I was intending to go. I didn't keep the money. What I did was wrong and it was dishonest. And it's my fault because I gave people the ammo they needed to say it was a scam. But everyone had their money back before I even touched back home and did whatever. You only gave it back because you got caught. Maybe. I don't know. I was stupid, right? Made mistakes. However, the MK community wants to pick and choose where my story begins and ends. They want to ignore the first 25 years and pick it up at my retirement, some washed up bum loser. And then want to end it at that incident. Mike Hollow and myself has educated people on the tens of thousands I've given back to the community. And Mike Hollow was seeing the receipts. Do you know what they say? We don't care.
Are you going to speak about, I know you mentioned it earlier in the stream. Are you going to talk about the people that DM you
for money? I don't want to bring your names up because they come to me in need.
But do they also insult you on the timeline after asking you for money?
Some of them do, yes, but I haven't given them money. Those people I haven't. So the ones that I've given money.
Jay, you hearing this, bro? They asked my man for money and then cuss him out.
So there's a very prominent MK1 streamer who's a little older, who had someone in their life who left their life in my DMs asking me for money. And you know who I'm talking about, Mike. And as the situation played out, and I'm like, well, why don't you go to them and ask for money? You know, as close as you guys are, they're broke. All they do is stream YouTube. They have no retirement and they're older. And I'm like, was one of the people outspoken of, what is Tom talking about? Money in the FGC. No one thinks this way. Yet they're going down that same path that trips up so many people with money in the FGC. And people look up to this. Like Chris G has always said, like, hey, I don't want people to think that I'm, eating like a king over here. A lot of times I'm minimum wage. So when you want to be me, I don't want to lie to you. I got to go to a tournament and I got to win it or I can't eat. Sometimes and there's, of course, so they'll use these things against me. But look, I made a mistake. What really the FGC should look at players who have accomplished great things and then get out and become successful in real life. Those players should be celebrated. Keep in mind, I was around for 20 years in MK, over 20 plus years. 20 something years later, win a major in Injustice. A guy who started in Mortal Kombat 1 in the arcade wins a major in Injustice. Tournament Fox is in. If that were me, they would throw flowers at his feet. Look at the unks. With me, they said it didn't count. There's a clear bias there, even before my incident, where there's just, whatever the reason is, just angry motherfuckers. No, because I tell the truth about NRS, their games, and the practices. Then there's the incident with like Foxy Grandpa. Mike Hollow did a stream. Foxy came on here, said, you can't name one person who says there's money in fighting games. And I said, well, Tweety insinuated it. He said, that's Tweety. No one cares what he has to say. Move the goalposts. Then I said, you talk about it all the time when it comes to me on stream and whatever. He goes, well, I'm just taking a piss. That doesn't count. So I said, Mike, here's a tweet where somebody said there's no money in it. And he said, you're delusional. There's plenty of people making money right now. And he said, that doesn't count. That was last year. And I said, last year, there was no money in fighting games. And then Ernesto does the video and says, Tom could name anybody. Are you stupid? And Ernesto doesn't have the balls to face me because I would blow him up for that. And you know he was wrong for that, Mike. And even you said, yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. And I messaged them on Twitter about it. No real conversation. Because blowing me up is good for business. Even the people watching the video, Mike said, even some of the comments were like, he did name somebody. But all this stuff. So they use those two things against me, but they don't tell you about my pedigree before I retired. And they don't tell me you about after that mistake, how I've rebounded. And it's tough to say I do regret it, but if that had not happened, I wouldn't be where I am now. And I wouldn't have changed for the better. And I would not be as successful as I am now. So really that incident changed me for the better. And I don't ever want younger players to fall in that mistake, because what people realize, like Gross, who's an idiot, to say, oh, I meant younger players. Because what the FGC does is they tell younger players, hey, while you're young and have no responsibility, now's the time to do it, but have a contingency plan. And to quote Mike Hollow, no, if you're young and you have no responsibilities, get some responsibilities, get a plan, and then play games for enjoyment, not for opportunity. Because what happens is, in fighting GM, he's talked about this, you'll be like 18, 19, you're young, you get into fighting games, it is believed that if you are in the 1%, you're going to make money. Well, we all know only 1% of people make money. No, if you're in the 1%, you're still broke. It doesn't matter. So you work hard, 19 to 21, now you're one of the best players in the world. Amazing. Guess what? No money for you, even though you're one of the best of the best. Then you realize there's money for 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. So that's like 5 people on Earth. But you're still very good. So you get sponsors, they're flying you out. We all know the trap. Sponsors, they're flying you out here, there. 7, 8, 9, 10 years go by and you're like, man, I was paycheck to paycheck, man, for the last decade. Brother, now you're 30. Your entire 20s are gone. You got no money for retirement, no career, no path. I mean, this is a common trap for younger players in the FGC. And when I speak about it, they act like, oh, Tom's some idiot, doesn't know what he's talking about. A lot of them do this. So I would say a lot of those people...
that is something that does need to be emphasized, though. Telling people to put all their chips into the brokest scene in competitive gaming is a really, really bad thing to tell young people. I don't have anything against people competing. I like going to tournaments, but you do not put all your chips into fighting games, man. That is you don't. That is not like some people make it. Like Jay's got a successful channel. There's what's his name, Diaphone. There's Maximilian, but those are like few and far between. It's a dangerous scene to put your chips in. So go on.
And the thing is, they use
sorry,
that.
Tom, one second. Just let Jay go.
Go, Jay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I made a mistake of staying in fighting games, so I agreed definitely with what you said. That's why I was nodding my head a lot, because it's like fighting games, even like this year, have been extremely on the downhill. Like, we've seen the stuff with Evo. We've seen like a lot of stuff that's happening in terms of like developers communicating with the audience, and just like the stuff you're saying about like, like community members always just trying to just like say things behind your back and stuff like that. Like that's common with me here in the UK and Tekken. Like, obviously I don't want to go back into it, but I have my certain issues with certain people. And it's like, when I really look at it, I'm like, what is this all about? I've given you my fair share of like, respect and time. And we've had problems in the past. I've even openly squashed it, because I'm like, look, I'd rather it be community together and stuff like that. But the issue is, to to the viewers, they probably might not understand this, but there is a lot of crabs in the bucket mentality. Everyone wants to get over that fence to say, all right, cool, we've made it in fighting games, or we've made some money in fighting games, but no one wants to work together. They want to kind of do it in their own groups, which is why you see there's so many groups in fighting games. Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's not even a lot of successful creators in this. The only way that I've been able to do it successfully is by reviewing tech, and people don't even really understand that. So that's like fight sticks, monitors, these things actually pay. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fighting games, if you're to get a game, they're just going to give you a code that you have to go away with that and make as much content as possible, and you have to rely on the engagement of your audience, which is not sustainable. But if you do, like, tech reviews where they actually say, all right, here's X amount, review it, or we'll fly you out to here, we'll pay for you to go to this event, that event, that helps me then put money back into the channel and do things. But what people tend to do, which I've never ever said, this is the first time I've ever said this anywhere, so this is like an exclusive, but that's the only reason how this has been able to kind of stay as how it is, and I'm able to had a studio before, now I'm in an apartment and all of these things and do what I do. It's because of that. If I never added that, I don't know where my channel would be. I'll be so honest with you. It's very, very difficult just to do it strictly on fighting games.
And the thing about MK community and the FGC.
Sorry, one sec, Tom. Just to piggyback off what you're saying, like, I people have messaged me asking me why I don't just go full time on YouTube, and although, like, I think I've been very, very, very lucky with my channel and the viewership and the kind of community that I have, I would advise absolutely nobody to quit there, especially if you live in London. Please don't do that, because they're charging an arm and a leg just to rent here. But I've gotten very lucky, especially for the size of my channel, with the amount of support that I get. And I don't know when that will dry up, or if YouTube will ban me one day. Don't be like, do you know what? The videos are hitting, the live streams are banging, I'm quitting. Bro, that is not... people have messaged me that so many times. Oh, I want to do what you're doing, Mike. I'm not saying don't. Definitely do it. Like, I think it's the more content creators that we have out there, I think it's a good thing, but just make sure you are balancing your life and you're prioritizing what needs to be prioritized. Because I still work 2 jobs. I still do 2 jobs. And I still work 2 jobs. Every now and then, I'll be honest, every now and then I'll do a stream and the support on the stream is so crazy that I'm like, okay, I don't have to take this particular contract that has been offered to me. I can stream because the community afforded me that. But I don't put like, you have to donate or like and subscribe. I just let people do as they do, and if it works out that way, that's great. But in doing that, you cannot quit your job and be like, I'm playing fighting games full time, I'm going to go to tournaments, I'm going to rely on the scene. That's a ridiculous thing to do. I advise absolutely nobody to do that. But use your time wisely and try to have fun with it, and maybe you'll make something of it. I mean, I'm having a great time, but again, I don't know when the wheels will fall off the wagon.
And when it came to the money, and I spoke about it, so an issue with the FGC is you have people who achieved great things. If you're smart, you get out. It's like your broke meter and your washed up meter have to be balanced. The minute your broke meter is so low, your washed up meter has to raise, so your broke meter goes down. And you have to know when that balance is. But in the FGC, if you're a player who achieved great things like myself, and then you're like, this isn't working anymore, I'm done. And then you get out and then you become successful and you turn everything around, it should be looked at like, hey, this is a good story. Someone who turns it around, someone who was great here and ended up being successful. But instead, it's like, you're washed. If you were so good, you'd be winning. Look at Sonic. He makes money. 1, they bring up one person. 2, I doubt Sonic Fox could even qualify for the average home in Seattle.
Is that expensive?
He ain't living. The average home in America is $420,000. Which means he would have to make somewhere between $125,000 to $150,000, no debt, with debt somewhere between $185,000 and $200,000 a year. I mean,
I don't think that's as bad as London, though. You know,
No, probably no. It's worse.
It's
It's worse there. It's worse in Canada too. But my point is that instead of like people who were great players and then become successful in life being celebrated, like this is what I would want to do. I want to play, achieve great things, have fun, but still be successful in life. And my path was definitely wrong. I waited way too long. I got very fortunate. However, it's like, well, you're washed. No. I'm not washed. I stepped away. Well, why don't you come back? Because this is the consequence of that when you're older, right? You got to move on. There is a current player right now in Mortal Kombat. I'm not going to name names, not for the person, but for the other person involved, who I am going to protect because I don't want to name who that person is that was homeless, living in shelters, etc. There was a situation between those two. This player in the community is so broke, you have no idea. No money, no retirement, living at home, but is very respected. Why? Bro, how old are you? What the fuck are you doing? And the person, you know what I'm talking about, Mike. And I was like, go to that person, ask for money. I can't. They don't have anything. It was that, and they exposed that everything about that part. No, there has no money, no retirement, no future, nothing. But revered by the Mortal Kombat community as an example of what to be like. Are you mad? Are you mad? Here's another guy who has had a very successful gaming career and now successful in real life, warning about these things. When you say he knows nothing in gaming, and he knows nothing here either, washed up. Like it's that bad. So there's so much I can break down about Mortal Kombat. No one will ever say no one will ever come on here and debate me when it comes to the nuts and bolts of Mortal Kombat. Nobody. Foxy will, but he'll just come on and go more, just a bunch of noise. Just a bunch of noise. Diddle will come on here and say, oh, but Tom, you're hella negative. And Mike goes, but is he wrong? And Diddle's like, well, no, he's not wrong, but he's just
sorry,
negative.
Diddle just talks out of his ass. We asked him, like, he kept on saying, I don't know if you saw this, Jay, or C4 or PL, but he came on here and he was like,
wasn't I in here when Diddle, wasn't it the same day that Foxy and Diddle were on here?
Yeah. He came on here and he was like, oh, you guys are hella negative. And I said to him, are we wrong? And he went, no. And then he just went quiet. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
and also keep in mind, the MK community is very resistant. They'll say, well, no one should listen to Tom because it's the same old negativity. So the truth is, in MKX, when ESL sat a bunch of players down, Mr. Aquaman, everyone, whatever, and they were like, who are your most influential people? Almost everyone named me as one of them. Man, MK9, watching Tom Brady play, got me into the game, whatever, came down, played with us, talked to us, did this, did that. If I was overwhelmingly negative from the beginning, nobody would have me on that list. Also, the fact that there's a clear bias is that they can literally recite by heart every video they consider to me to be negative. But if I were to say, can you give me 2 or 3 that were not negative and were positive? They can't name one. That's a clear confirmation bias because I've shown many of them. In MK9, did I talk about the issues? Yes, but I was very positive on the game. Same with MKX. There were issues to talk about, but I also had a lot of positive content. It all went downhill for me in MK11, where I heavily promoted buying the final version of the game. And then when they released that slop called the custom variation system, was just unlocking it, I was like, man, I am so stupid. Advocating people to buy this game, and they did this, and the game is in the gutter. So for the last, I got it 4 or 5 years, it's been that way, but it hasn't been that way for the previous 10. And there's a great reason for it, because their games have not been good. And when I talk about their games and I break down the flaws, nobody cares. I'm just being negative. I'm being a hater. If anybody but me mentioned the things I did, it would be taken very seriously. But because it's me, it's one way or another. It's nobody cares. Salty old man, etc. And then when I talk about the money in the FGC, not only was I formerly, I guess, a pro player, had sponsors, whatever, did pro leagues, was also a commentator for ESL, a commentator for MLG, a guide writer for Prima, made my own guide as well, and was a tester for NetherRealm. Clearly, I've had my hand in all phases of it. So I would obviously be able to offer an expert behind the scenes of how things are really done. And they still say I don't know anything and I'm an idiot. If I don't know anything about Mortal Kombat, who does? If I don't know anything about the real behind the scenes monetary practices of the FGC, who does? So
you've got someone coming on here to debate you in a couple of minutes.
Sure. Who is it?
Someone in the chat.
I was just about to leave, but I'll stay on for an extra 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's gonna come on. He's been disagreeing with absolutely everything that you said in the chat.
10 minutes. I'm gonna be late for where I need to be, but
what's his name? Who is it?
10 minutes.
Straight Canavan.
This will be an easy one. It'll be like talking to Roy Archon.
Oh God! Whatever happened to Roy?
He went on Rio. He went on Rio stream, and it was a disaster.
Did you see him on my stream?
That was unwatchable. It was tough to get through. And there was a time when he was so worked up, and he was like, "Knowing the game is the bestest," and you're like, "Roy."
Yeah, he would have listened. Couldn't believe it.
He was like, "It's the best thing ever. You don't understand. You don't." So yeah, I mean, overall, I don't say these things from like, what am I wrong about the gameplay? What am I wrong about?
I suspect what's going to happen is going to be another Diddle situation where people want you to balance out your takes with positive takes. They're less interested in the truth and more interested in just putting out essentially nonsense. Like they want you to lie to make the game look better, I guess. I don't know why someone would say all you guys do is spread negativity, and then when you ask them, are you wrong? They say no. Do you know how dumb you look saying that?
I try to be positive at first or critique it in a more positive way, but as nothing changes and there's more, no, everything's fine, I just double down even harder. So when the issues of the problem with being too positive is you already have enough people talking about all the positive things. And they might say, well, there's people talking about the negative things. But the problem is the positive things about the game are not good enough to save it. But the negative things are bad enough to destroy it. That's why I hit so hard on them. And one of the main things I've always hit on is the variation system can't work the way NRS has done it. Because if you're going to make the variation, the variations, the cameo part of the character, two parts to make a whole, the cameo can't be as restrictive because the cameo has to be more available. But it's very difficult to make so many cameos more available because some of them do dumb stuff. And without some of the other mechanics that you find in assist games like super jump, advancing guard, air dashing, push block, these type of features, it's tough to do that without those. So you have to be more restrictive on the assist. Now, that's why you see the most common assists used are the ones that are the most available. And it's always been that way. The only real thing to do would be to make the characters able to play as standalone one-on-one characters, and then the assist can be a complement. So I'm only using Sub-Zero. And the worst thing is when I mention Sub-Zero, people are like, oh, there's Tom talking about Sub-Zero. Yes, I'm the greatest version of that character to ever live, bitches. And find a Sub-Zero player that has better tournament results from the beginning to the end. You'll be looking for a long time. So a Sikander, in my opinion, is definitely the Sub-Zero right now. I support Sikander quite a bit. But as far as tournament results over history, no one else is in the conversation. So when I look at Sub-Zero and I'm like, well, if Sub-Zero was a more complete character overall so that he didn't need the assist to do a lot of things, the frost assist would be great because he'd be a great corner character the way he's always been with Clone. And then the ability to call up a frost wall and make a corner anywhere on the screen would be devastating. But he can't do that because he needs an assist just to have him be able to play the game.
Tom, can I just ask you, or how do you feel about people, like there's people in the chat saying that you're glazing yourself? How do you feel about people saying that stuff about you? Because I personally don't have an issue with someone saying, yo, I was number one in this, that, and the other. I think it's fine.
Here's what the community
Before
does.
you start, I want to say one thing. Just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
People that say that are so annoying in this space.
Insecure.
And no, wait. Now, I need to get onto this. You think someone being happy with their achievements is glazing themselves? Are you fucking stupid? Like, bro, like he should be happy with his achievements. Like, not many people could achieve what
But also,
he's done.
Jay, when
and
they
I'm not even hold on,
okay,
Tom,
go ahead.
hold on.
Go ahead.
And
man.
I'm not glazing him for him saying like I'm saying, bro, like me, I'm respecting what he's done in this space. Do you get what I'm saying? So before you lot start saying, oh, you're glazing, bro. No, I just respect what he's doing and what he's achieved. Because not many people could achieve what he's achieved. You lot got to stop with that fucking dumb shit in this FGC space.
But also, when they bash you,
yourself, so
when they
stupid.
bash you, they say they're not shitting on you, right?
That's what,
but when you talk good about yourself, you're glazing yourself. Let me get this straight. Anything positive is glazing, but when you bash me, is that shitting on you? No, we're just trolling.
There we go. We're just trolling.
And the FGC masquerades straight hit pieces as trolling. And if you say nothing, well, why didn't you say anything? How am I supposed to know? And if you do, why do you address that? Nobody cares. The FGC is, let's stop. The FGC also denies that they are the master of gaslighters. And we all know who they are. But they,
100%.
they all
There's
do.
nothing wrong with saying that. Listen, I was number one on Bleach. Yeah. Me.
Yep.
I was number one on MKX. I was number one on Soul Calibur 5. I'll glaze myself until the cows come home.
Let them know.
Tom, you've got your opponent here now.
All right, let me make this light work.
Could I ask a question real quick before we do this?
Sure.
Damn, Tom.
Because
hold
Jay
on,
wasn't.
hold on.
Yeah, because Jay
man.
wasn't here. What's Jay's opinion on the Capcom thing, real quick?
What's my opinion about that Capcom thing?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you. Everyone wanted esports, right? You know, esports comes with those problems. Like, I'm not agreeing with it. Like 50 is crazy to go and watch a stream.
Isn't it 30 pounds?
No, nah. So if you get both of them, if you get that and Street Fighter League, it's 50.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like a bundle deal. But
is it crazy though?
Is it crazy?
Is it crazy? Like, look at the numbers that Street Fighter 6 is pulling in and why they've done it, and then ask yourself, Tokido's getting more viewers than fucking Maximilian right now, with a fraction of the subscriber base of Street Fighter 6 alone. Is it crazy for Capcom to turn around and go, we don't need the international market anymore, and we can monetize this?
Okay.
Well, let me debate this guy first because I don't have too much longer after.
Okay, go on.
Okay, we'll go back.
We'll talk about Capcom afterwards.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's get it, man. Hey, so we about to talk about Mortal Kombat 1?
Yeah,
and
let's
Sonic
go.
Fox and Sonic Fox, right? So
Sure. Oh, you want to talk about Sonic Fox? Okay.
yeah, so
Let's get ready.
bro, I've been playing Mortal Kombat 1 since I say the beta came out, bro. And like when I played the beta, bro, the first thing I said was this shit better than 11, bro. Like the gameplay, all that shit, bro. Like I really feel like Mortal Kombat 1 is not like as bad as you trying to make it seem, bro. Like, and that's just my opinion, bro. Like I feel like it is not that bad, bro. Like the game is fun, bro. Like so like it's fun. Like I don't see all the problems you be saying. Like, bro, when I get on, like, bro, I'm having fun. Like I'm beating niggas. Like I'm doing my thing. Like I'm having fun. Like, but then I go watch your videos and you saying all this extra stuff, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But what is Tom saying that you find wrong specifically?
Just like the gameplay and shit. Like like the cameos. Like I understand cameos is like a big update to the game, but bro, all you gotta do is just get used to them, play with them. That's all you gotta do, bro. Just get used to them and play with them. Yeah. When the game first came out, it was aggravating, but after like a couple months, bro, you should be used to it, bro. Like, it's Mortal Kombat, bro. Come on, bro. Like, it's not that serious, bro.
I don't think anything of what I said was that it's tough to get used to the cameos.
But bro, you talking like it's just so bad, bro. Like,
the cameo system is very bad and is very poorly implemented. It is very poorly implemented. It's poorly implemented because there are just a lot of cameos that aren't usable just because the best ability is availability. So because a cameo is such an integral part of your character that only the most available cameos are used. So ones that are readily available so that you can use a cameo almost as frequently as you can use a special move. And the reason for that is a lot of these characters, there are some that are complete that can play with a multitude of cameos, but most of them have to just deal with one, and it's usually the same one. It's been that way through the majority part of the game. You usually see 2 cameos used 90% of the time, one used about 10-15% of the time for a third one, and then maybe an occasional fourth one used sporadically, very randomly, not often. The rest of them are never seen. Right. And this is because the characters themselves, most of them are not able to do their own heavy lifting. So there are some that are able to do so. Like Cyrax can choose a multitude of cameos. Sonic likes Madame Bo, but Cyrax can pick a multitude of cameos because Cyrax is, as a whole, a more complete character. She's able to play her game with or without a cameo, so the cameo can be added to enhance it. Then there are other characters who really can't. They need the cameo as an extension of their own special moves because they just can't even play without the cameo. This is a problem. If they made the characters a more complete to be played almost as a 1v1 character, and then the cameo could be used as a +1, you'd have a lot more cameo variety. So for one, there are some cameos that have a lot of cooldown. You can't use them if you're a character who needs a cameo to be as available as your special moves. This eliminates a vast majority of the cameo system. If the character was more complete, I only use Sub-Zero as an example because traditionally I have the most experience with Sub-Zero. He has traditionally been a corner character, and they tried to make him like one, only he's not. If he didn't need the cameo to do a lot of the basics, he could use something like a cameo that is considered useless, like the Frost Wall, and then he could pull up a corner anywhere on the screen. But there are so many cameos that would be more usable if, in fact, you didn't need to use the cameo for everything else, like just being able to play the game at its basic level. And in order for the cameo system to be more opened up to where all the cameos are available, you keep the characters on there the way they are, and for the cameos to be opened up and all of them more available. Maximilian spoke about this, how the cameos just don't feel very good. They don't feel very fluid. Is other assist games have a more fluid assist system because they have a lot of other mechanics: super jump, air dash, push blocking, advancing guard, etc., which allows your character to move around the screen. The ambush of you and another cameo doing stuff constantly. You have more. You're not just kind of stuck there like you are in MK1.
Yeah.
But NRS didn't do that, and they didn't do the other route. So the cameo system, essentially, I guess to bottom line it, is a version of the variation system and the assist from other fighters. The assist system was not poorly implemented. The cameo, the variation system is not very good. So it's a combination of two things that nobody really wanted in Mortal Kombat. And while you may enjoy the game, and I'm glad you do, and there are some that do, the majority of people do not. It is not what they wanted. Hence, not enough people bought the expansion, and the game was over. Had NRS stopped these band-aid mechanics, stopped these gimmicky things like variation system and assist, or actually implement something properly for once, or if you're not going to change the cameos, change the characters. It's simple. You don't want to change the characters, change the cameos. You don't want to change the cameos, change the characters. Right?
Yeah.
To say we're not going to do either, that's what happened.
Bro, it is not that bad, bro. Cameos is not that bad, bro. Like it is not, bro. The
You got
gameplay.
that whole explanation just to disregard you.
Huh?
So you got that whole explanation just to disregard.
Yeah, bro. Cause bro, it's not like it's not that serious, bro. Like
it's fun for him. I get it. It's fun for him.
Yeah, bro. Like this shit fun. That's why I don't get every time I go to your channel or I go on X and you having a meltdown about this game, bro. And I go back and play it. I'm like, bro, what is it like? What are you talking about? Like,
okay, I'll make it simple for you then. Even simpler.
It's Mortal Kombat, bro.
I'm having a meltdown because it's Mortal Kombat. You like Mortal Kombat? Yeah, I love Mortal Kombat. Here's what I don't love. I don't love issues that don't get resolved, so the game is done after 1 year. And that's exactly what happens. So if you want to know why I do what I do, it's so 1 year and 1 month into the game, the publisher doesn't come out and say, we're done. That's why. Which is, no matter how much you enjoy the game, that actually happened.
Bro, I feel like we had people who was enjoying that game, you hear me? And we was waiting for Combat Pack 3. And I feel like...
But why is there no Combat Pack 3 that you're waiting for? Why is
because, bro, I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
Because people like you was
like me.
every day on Twitter, every day on YouTube, bro. Y'all hating, bro. Like, on God, bro. Like the hate was overshadowing the good, bro. Like I done seen people giving Mortal Kombat 1 credit. I done seen people give Mortal Kombat 1 credit and they get shot down every time. Like it's like if you're not hating on the game, you can get the fuck in. Just like you told Honeybee and all them boys that kept on making positive content, bro. How you go tell them what to post? Like if that's how they feel, bro, that's how they feel.
No, I'm not. But the problem is they come out and Honeybee was just on the Nexus.
Tom, can I just say something real quick? Straight Canavan, do you really think that Tom or anyone of like Tom's stature has the power to have a game as massive as Mortal Kombat get delisted, basically?
No.
But you just said that.
That is what you accused him of. No?
Mike, I'm going to give you an example to play here. It's only a 3-minute video here before I go. Let me also just say this. I have no problem with Honeybee being positive. I think Honeybee is great for the game. My problem is you have all this positivity for the whole first year and even a lot of the second year. And then he went on the Nexus podcast and said, I didn't hear it, but M2 Dave told me that's not true. He had a lot of criticism of the game. Aquaman was like, all the problems year one. But when I look at the things Aquaman did and said year one, I didn't see no mention of these problems. I heard Tom Brady and Mike Hollow.
He's got.
Yeah, that's my whole point. And let me just give you an example. Of what I mean. Mike, I want you to play this video here.
Just before we play the video, I do have to say that, like, obviously, like, I know Straight Canavan is in the streams all the time. It's nothing against him, but it's very juvenile to think that myself, Tom, or any of the MK content creators that are on the same level as us had a hand in Mortal Kombat doing badly when we also acknowledge that the FGC is 1% of the conversation and Mortal Kombat is the highest selling fighting game of all time. So it's kind of ridiculous to make out like we would do that. Within the FGC, sure, we could have some sort of influence on it, but if we are only 1% and Mortal Kombat is a juggernaut, then the maths doesn't really add up. So
yeah, I mean,
you're kind of just spitting. If you don't like what we're saying, then you don't have to listen. That's it. But one thing I always say to people is, you don't like what I'm saying, but am I lying? And not a single person has come on here and proven that I have lied about the game or Tom. Not one. And when did the game come out? In 2023, and not a single person.
2 years. And also, I don't have some of our content creators are really gifted. Destroyer and Honeybee could make it seem like eating a sandwich is the most hype thing you've ever seen. Like, that's a gift. But when they make MK1 seem like it's fine, it's a curse. Because both of them have well over 100,000 viewers. So they want to be positive. But when you're positive the whole time, it's in the shitter. and then when the wheels roll off and then say, man, there was a lot of problems that had to be fixed. You might want to say those things while there's time to fix it. When you command that type of an audience. When you're Aquaman, to admit all these issues now as pretty much the face of the pro circuit, what does it matter admitting them now? It's too late. You wanted to talk about these things when things were going on and not acting like, and the thing is, they act like the negativity is not Honeybee or Destroyer, but like Aquaman or sometimes Tweety or K&M don't stay away from it. But several others will act like the negativity is coming out of nowhere. Like as if the game is not responsible for it. Even if we had a caller come in just now who doesn't want to blame the game for the reason why the content was pulled. It's my fault.
Yeah, man, it's because y'all didn't want to get used to the cameos. It's still Mortal Kombat.
I mean, and ultimately, here's the real truth. It's like Roy Icon one time talked to Rio and said, "Oh, but the cameo system and the is a perfect blend of the variation system and assist system." Nobody wanted assists, and nobody likes the variation system. That ain't a good thing. You know, that's very bad. And I just want to give you an example of my negative content. My first ever MK1 video, Mike, I sent it to you. I want you to play it. So I got to take it off private. Hold on.
I'm gonna go in it after head off in it, but take it easy, man.
Let me take it off private first.
Bro, take it easy, bro.
In a bit, bro.
Let me just quickly say, Tom, I did get your super chats. All right, let me just tell you something about sending super chats in the UK right now. If you send a super chat in and it's kind of abusive towards somebody, I don't know if I can read it out without the police knocking on my door. It's gotten to that point now.
There you go, Mike. So it's unlisted.
Give me 1 second, Tom. I do want to read out your super chats. Don't get me wrong, and I appreciate all the support that you guys give. But if you send in a super chat that is abusive, you have to remember I'm not in the United States. We don't have the First Amendment.
Yeah, they don't have free speech.
We don't have that over here. So if you say something that is abusive towards somebody, and I read that out, I could get a knock on the door in the morning. That's not a joke either. C4, I'm sure you've seen the videos. We call police officers names out here. They lock us up now. Some guy retweeted something. They read him his rights 2 years. So although I appreciate, listen, any super chat you guys send in, I highly appreciate it. It does more for me than you know. But if you send in super chats insulting people, I have to be careful. And TomTom's the ones that you just sent in could be seen as bullying. And even though we disagree with Straight Canavan, he is a member of the community. I do like him. He's been here for a long time. So I can't read it out, bro. I appreciate the super chat. I really do, but I can't read it. I can't put that one on stream either. Because the UK is pretty mad right now. It's mad for us right now.
Gotcha.
Let me pull up.
So this video is the first video I ever made for MK1, and Mike can look at the date on it during the beta. So I was playing it, and I noticed there's armored launchers in the game. So I made a video to be like, man, listen, we've been through this before in the community. You youngins don't realize this, but it's not okay. And I said, I know you guys are going to say, but it costs meter or whatever, but it's not okay. And well, Mike can play the video. And they were like, oh my gosh, Tom already being negative. Let's make Mike play the video and then I can go from there.
Just before we play the video, Straight Canavan.
Yeah, bro. I live in Louisiana, bro. It's hot as fuck out here, bro. So my fucking phone temperature shit start tripping. You hear me, bro? Yeah, man. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, bro. I don't think Tom got the power to delist the game, but bro, voices do, bro. Like, when you constantly hating on the game like he was, bro. Come on, bro. Shit like that. Go ahead.
Am I hating on it or am I telling the truth about it?
You're hating, bro. You know why? Because it's not the truth. Because like you said, they got people like me and a lot of other people that like the game, so it's not the truth. Every minute, it's your opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you ain't like Mortal Kombat 1, bro, just let that shit alone, bro. Because every day.
So then, isn't he allowed to state his opinion though, Straight?
Yes.
And so, what would you say? What would you say? Could you tell us specifically where we have lied about it, or do you just not like us talking badly about it?
I feel like, nah, bro. Like you said, it's your opinion, bro. You know what I'm saying? But
no. I'm not asking about the opinions. I'm asking where have we lied about the things we've said that are objective.
like about the cameos and shit. Like I don't feel like they badly implemented. I feel like they, you know what I'm saying, it's a little good update, but the fans ain't perceive it well. So next Mortal Kombat, don't put it in. Simple. Don't do that. Simple as that.
But if the fans didn't receive it well, could it be they didn't receive it well because it was not properly implemented?
Maybe, or it's probably because they didn't like it. You know what I'm saying?
Could it be they didn't like
listen,
it
listen,
because...
bro. In 2K right now, bro, 7th, bro. The shooting right now is going crazy, bro. But guess what? It is what it is, bro.
But I mean, is it possible that they didn't like it because it was poorly implemented?
No, bro.
Then why did they not like it?
Whoa. The people who didn't like it, you hear me? They probably felt like that, but bro, they still got people who do though, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Okay,
and I feel like
but
y'all killed the dreams of Combat Pack 3, bro. That's how I feel, bro. I'm standing on it.
No. Here's my problem. Here's the real truth, my friend.
What up?
You guys that were left playing just didn't spend enough money to keep the dream alive. So if you loved it so much, you guys should have put money hand over fist. There wasn't enough people left to buy the game.
Man, stop it, bro.
Money talks.
Tom Brady, bro. You were saying to stop the game before the game even got canceled, bro. Like you wanted this.
I said if it goes this route, that's what's going to happen. That people are not going to buy the expansion, and it's going to be over. And some people did, most did not, and it was canceled. So the majority of people didn't like a lot of the things in the game.
So you feel like they ain't make a Combat Pack 3 because Chaos Reigns ain't sell well, but it's not because but it's not because every time you get on X or YouTube about Mortal Kombat, all you see is hate. Like you don't think that's why? Like
is it hate or is it frustration because they don't like it? And
it's hate, bro. It's hate, man. It's hate. It's hate, bro. It's
But
hate, bro. That's how I feel, bro.
Straight Canavan, what you're saying is that Tom Brady had a hand in getting Combat Pack 3 delisted. He had enough power.
Bro, I'm not saying it like I ain't saying it like you wanted to I'm not like you wanted to NRS, my brother. I ain't saying it like that, man. I ain't saying it like that. I'm saying that his voice, bro, like and not only his voice, bro, you know they got multiple people.
That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. You're saying that his voice is powerful enough to make it so that Combat Pack 3 would not come out.
Man, look, voice is, bro, not just his, Mike. Come on, bro.
Okay. Can I ask a question real quick?
Go real quick.
Straight. What's the difference between criticism and hating?
The criticism, hating, I bet. I got you. All right. So, Mortal Kombat 1 came out September 19, 2023, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. I see, bro, from that date to about maybe January, maybe March, bro. All right, y'all can critique the game. But after that, bro, the game been out for so long, it's like, bro, what you gonna do? You gonna keep on just hating or just leave it alone? Like,
that's not an answer, bro.
What? How's that an answer?
If we leave it alone, how does it?
Would you like me to read the definition between criticism and hate, since we're getting off of what actual definitions are instead of emotions and facts?
What is the difference?
What about if PO reads the difference, the definition, and then you can agree or disagree?
I read it in, man.
All right, here's the criticism definition: the expression of disapproval of someone or something based off perceived faults or mistakes.
Yeah.
All right, now the hating definition: feel intense or passion dislike for someone
or something.
Well, probably or something too. Yeah.
Come on, man, or something, right? Or something, right? And every day you get on X, what you see. Every day you get on YouTube, what
critiquing is based on the mechanics of the game that I can demonstrate, not based on a feeling that I can't explain.
All right, bro, but like, come on, man. Like,
all right, straight Canavan, this would be the difference. If Tom went onto X or onto YouTube every day and just said, I fucking hate Mortal Kombat, and that was basically his line of talking, right? Didn't deviate too much. He's just hating at that point. He's not giving any criticisms. But Tom will make a video, he'll pick a topic, he'll break down why it's not good, and that is a criticism. So that's not just blind hating.
Isn't
that what happens?
I watched this whole MK fucking saga, whole MK1 saga, bro. Like, from the start to now, bro, like it's hate, bro. At first, yeah, bro, y'all was criticizing the game, bro. Like Mike, bro, you was making videos on how to make the game better. You was 2 times, but after that, bro, what all them other videos was? Shambolic game, come on, bro. Like,
wait, somebody said I flipped the definition. Do you want me to fucking put it up on the screen?
All right, straight Caliban, can you, because you're on YouTube right now, can you pick up a video where I am just straight hating? I'm not offering criticism. Just one.
Like, we all have the same internet.
Can you just point me to one? I'll bring it up now.
Yeah, go ahead and bring that video up. I just want to show the chat an example of my negativity. So when the game came out, I noticed something.
Hold on, Tom. Just before we get onto this, because I've got your video up here. I just want straight Canavan to give me the name of a video where I was straight hating. I was not offering criticism and I wasn't covering a topic. I was just straight hating on Mortal Kombat.
Mike, I'm gonna send you this stuff.
Straight Canavan, you still there?
Maybe his phone's gone off again. I can't hear any background noise either, so. Or maybe he's maybe he's come out of what's it called? StreamYard to find the video. Maybe.
Maybe.
Literally in 30 seconds.
Mike,
that's what I'm doing. I'm leaving StreamYard to go find the video.
See?
Okay, no problem.
I got you, fam, bro. I got the good faith for you, fam. I know what's going on.
The old boy trying to say, "Oh, I flipped the definition." Did I? I read it off Google. Do you want me to go get an actual book, physical book definition of it?
Might have to put it up.
Yeah, we'll bring up your video in just a sec, Tom. I'm really curious if he can find.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's still here. He said he's getting the video. So we can just find one video where I am just being hateful. In the meantime, whilst we're waiting, Mr. Mars, thank you for the $4.99. Here's a wholesome Chunga super chat. No bullying here. Wink, wink. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you.
Kenjamin, thank you for the $2. Shout out to UK cops. Nothing to see here. Yeah, it's just mad out here, bro. I'm not even exaggerating. It's mad out here.
Yeah, the cops are out there. I like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, they are out here, bro. If you see some of the videos on X, it's not a joke. Midnight Green 20, thank you for the $5. I think Capcom needs the money from pay-per-view because the tournament isn't financially viable. It hasn't led to the kind of sales numbers they want to see. I heard something about the venue costing like $150,000 or something. So, and I think they're doing loads of celebrity things as well.
Maybe.
Tom, thank you for the $5. Why do I have the feeling this guy is digging in his behind while chewing on some overcooked gumbo while speaking?
I thought you were going to read those ones, bro.
No, that one can get. That one can get by. The other ones I couldn't.
It's just past 6. Do you want to roll that while we're waiting for him to come back on?
Yeah, so you have to go off in a minute.
Yeah. So just to frame it for the chat, this was the first video I ever made on MK1. And go ahead and it was about armored launchers. I knew it was going to be a problem. Go ahead and play it. It's only 3 minutes. This video, I want to talk about armored launchers and more. This is during the beta. So one of the best things NRS did was they brought back the armored feature, which I thought was a good thing because they removed the problem, which was, hey, in some previous MK games, some attacks have armor and will launch you. This was a massive problem in games like MK9, especially MKX, where until they overhauled it, it feels like everybody had an armored launcher. You're knocking people down, you go to pressure, they're getting up with armored attacks that launch. They'll do a string or an attack that recovers at low negative frames. You go to poke and take your turn back. They respond with an armored launcher, beats out your poke. Now you're up in the air, you're comboed, you're going to die. Thanks for playing. In Mortal Kombat 1, while armored attacks by themselves don't cause a launcher, certain armor attacks combined with certain cameos will, and I have a clip of this here. This is just showing the armored slide launcher. So this is not a situation where you had to call the cameo first and then do the attack. This is something where you're doing the attack and then calling the cameo while the move is coming out, which means it can also be done as a wake-up attack because like you can't do cameo and then wake-up attack and have 2 wake-up attacks coming out, right? So not only can this be done in general in open space in any way, you can also do it as a wake-up attack, which is also a huge problem. Pay no attention to the fact that it's only a 20% combo. I know someone's going to say that. That's unoptimal with a proper practice mode. I promise you I can do more. In the corner, I was also doing combos of around 30% by reversing positions into the corner, and I could do more if I had Fatal Blow. Keep in mind, this is only one character with one cameo. When we get the rest of the characters with the rest of the cameos, this will get a lot worse. I know that there are people out there that will make the argument of, oh, but it cost resources, and oh, but the move is unsafe, block it and punish it. I promise you, these arguments have all been made in the past, and it did not matter. Everyone said this in those other MK games. Oh, it costs resource. Oh, it's unsafe. It's not a problem. It was still a problem, which is why NRS tried their best to remove that from this game. But then there's the cameo feature to take into consideration. Armored attacks, when being done, should have the ability to call the cameo removed. Like, every attack in this game has the ability to call the cameo feature that can be done while you're moving. All armored attacks should have that removed. Now, at least that would remove that as a wake-up attack. So you would never be able to do an armor attack that launches on wake-up. Sure, you'll have scenarios where you set up a cameo in advance and then throw the attack out, but you won't be able to do that in situations where you're, doing an attack and then want to throw out an armored launcher to beat their poke or as a wake-up attack. So it at least minimizes those situations. But let me know what you guys think. Sound off in the comments. So basically what I'm saying here is that the ambush as a wake-up, so in general, even if they try to take any precautions, there'll still be the off scenario in which you call the cameo before you do the move, then do the move, and the two interact in a way that will cause a launcher. But I was trying to find a way to fix the fact that you can do, so if you lock out the cameo while you're doing an attack, like an armored move, you remove the armored launcher from the game. And obviously, like I said, there's going to be instances where the cameo is done in advance of doing the move. That's kind of niche. But at least just throwing the move out raw, doing it as a wake-up attack, doing it in a poke, and then throwing out armor afterwards, it removes the armored launcher. And I said, the problem is, what you're going to hear people say is it costs resource, like 1 bar, cameo. It's resource heavy, all these things. But we have experienced these things in the past in MK9, in MKX. It's not okay. No matter what resources used, it's not okay. Now, when I made that video, the first thing the community said was, oh, Tom being negative off the bat, being this. That was a criticism in which I said, it's going to be a problem. Mike, is it not true or false? The community ended up not liking armored launchers. Surprise, surprise. Who knew? So when I made that video, it was not to be negative. It was to say, hey, this is a problem. You guys don't realize it. A lot of you are newer. Here's a solution. Just do not allow to do an ambush when you do armor. If you do armor, the cameo is locked out, which would also have fixed a lot of the other problems where, all these armor moves are safe, or armored launchers or safe armored launchers, things like that. It would remove a lot of those things. Maybe there's a better solution to it. I was just spitballing off the top of my head at that moment. It was still in the beta. But the point is that armored launchers weren't okay. Now, instead of this being like, hey, this is during the beta, plenty of time, right? Before the game launches, this is an issue. It's viewed as being negative, hating on the game already, et cetera, et cetera. So do you see that, just for the chat, sees the difference between what is actually criticism and what the community will label as hate and negativity? And by the way, when the game came out, nobody liked armor launchers, like I said. And by the way, all the criticism about, hey, this is going to kill the game, expansion is going to come out, it's not going to sell anymore. That's exactly what happened. It's not hate if it ends up being the truth.
Yeah, I totally agree. And hopefully we are not here again when Mortal Kombat 2 or Mortal Kombat 12, whatever.
Yeah, call it just abandon just go back to MK.
I think they should abandon numbers and start doing what they did in the 3D era. Give them naming conventions.
I actually like that too. That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me on, though, Mike. I appreciate it, brother.
No worries, man. We'll catch you in a bit.
Thanks.
In a bit, bro.
Peace.
All right. Well, Strafe Canavan didn't come back. We covered Capcom Cup. Unless there was anything you wanted to say on that, PO?
Nah, the only thing that I had to say was that like the FGC wants stuff but never wants to pay for it. But I was talking about like the quality wise and stuff. I felt like inevitably we would probably went to a pay-per-view, but I didn't think it was gonna be like, what was it, $40 or something like that. But they got to give more than, hey, you're just watching the same broadcast. They got to say there are no ads or commercials after you pay this, and they got to give out some more perks or something, because I know a lot of people don't really want to watch throw loops or whatever the current meta is. Like, it's just,
I'm not paying for it. Like, part of the fun of watching those streams is watching it with your community. If I wasn't even paying for UFC. Like, I would catch the highlights on YouTube. I'm not paying for Capcom Cup, so yeah, that ain't happening. It's a shame,
but yeah, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I was already not about to. I don't think I was going to watch anyway.
Yeah, Straight Canavan, did you find the video? No.
Is he there still? I mean, he's there, but Tom's already gone, so it's not like they could debate.
True.
Yeah. Oh well. C4, was there anything else you wanted to add?
Nah, not really. People just say you ain't got the money. Just say you're
broke. Pokemon quote: "You a broke boy? Just say so."
Exactly.
No, I could pay for it, but what's the point in paying for it if you can't watch it with your community?
Well, you don't really care about Street Fighter, right? It's not the same for you.
I'm watching it. I really enjoy watching Street Fighter 6. Like, I don't really stream them, but like when I'm chilling, I put Street Fighter 6 on and just watch their tournaments.
Yeah, did you watch Street Fighter League? I didn't watch Street Fighter League.
Didn't you have to pay for that as well?
I don't think at the start you did.
I don't know if I watched Street Fighter League, but there's been a couple tournaments that I've watched, but I couldn't give you their names. But I watched it at the Esports World Cup. I actually preferred that to Tekken, and I watched another tournament recently, although I don't know what it was called. But yeah, I personally really enjoy watching Street Fighter 6. It's one of the more entertaining games for me. It doesn't look like the most fun to play with the throw loop situation, but outside of that, I think it's pretty cool. It's just a shame, but I can't really knock Capcom because FGC begged for esports and now it's here, and Street Fighter's being seen on the same level as League of Legends in Japan. So we got what we asked for. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say they should look. My only issue is that the World Warriors, they don't pay them out like they do in the other countries. Like in USA, we don't get shit for them. Not to say I won a World Warrior, but just looking forward to it. You win one, you don't get anything. But in the other countries, you get like, I think they pay out like $5,000 or something overall.
Straight Canavan, it's fine, bro. Just give us the name of the video that you were talking to. He said he had it in his hands. What's the name of the video?
Drop the link in chat, innit?
Yeah, drop the link in chat. You're in chat. Drop the link in chat. Let's see, because this is something. I mean, this is perfect because there's always people on Twitter saying this. I'd like to. No, I still gotta go find it. Listen, bro. All right, I'm gonna say all respect, Straight Canavan, because you come to the streams. I appreciate your support, but let me tell you something. If anything that you said was true, you'd have been able to name it within at least 2 minutes. Because if I have a beef with a content creator about something that they've said or something that they've done, I will be able to name where that beef came from. If you don't know where my hate for Mortal Kombat 1 even came from, because I haven't been making MK1 videos in a long time. MK1 videos have not been on my channel in a long time. It can't be that hard to find. All you got to do is go to my page, type in Mortal Kombat, they come up. So there is, spoiler alert, there's no video where I open it and I'm just hating. I am talking about a specific thing about Mortal Kombat 1 that I don't like, and I'm critiquing it. There is no hate video, and they will never find one because it doesn't exist. I guess that's it, guys. I appreciate you both for being on.
No problem. Thanks for hitting me up.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. All good. I'll catch you guys soon.
Cool. In a bit.
Yes,
Peace.
sir.
All right, guys. So that's the stream today. Not a super long one. 4 hours. I can do a little workout in my room. Get to bed on decent time. Hit gym in the morning. But once again, I want to say I do appreciate all the super chats. Like I said, it does more for me than you know. Like the support that you guys give me on this channel is crazy. And I'm sorry that I couldn't read out those ones. But again, I don't have the First Amendment. I can't, as much as I want to say certain things. I even got invited to a debate panel for something unrelated to this, completely unrelated to fighting. It was a debate panel. It was like a UK-based one. And I was like, I can't, because you're all American on the panel. You don't know what's going to happen to me if I start saying certain things. So you can't really, say what you want to say. But for those of you that weren't here at the beginning of the stream, I will end the stream with this, because some people were asking what was going on at the beginning. I missed your super chat. Oh, sorry, my bad, bro. Where was? Oh, thank you, OJ. Mike, I'm watching your stream. Why are you trying not to laugh, bro? Straight kind of had me in stitches. I'm not gonna lie. He had me in stitches because it sounded like he really wants to go at Tom, but he didn't know how to attack Tom's argument. So it was don't end. I don't feel like there's anything else to really talk about, unless there was something that you guys wanted me to bring up. Hey, straight kind of, I just want you to know, it's no hard feelings, bro. It's no hard feelings at all. I get it. It's your favorite game. You hear me on the timeline, or you hear me on YouTube. You see me on the timeline putting the game down, but I'm not doing it for the fun of it. Remember, I grew up playing Mortal Kombat. I don't want Mortal Kombat to be in a bad place. Why would I want that? I want to be able to do shambolic showdowns for Mortal Kombat. I want the day to come where we can do that like we do for Tekken. As bad as Tekken is, it ain't Mortal Kombat 1. Technicals dropped a new vid. I shall watch that on my cross trainer. But I hope the day comes. I hope the day comes where we can do Virtua Fighter 6 shambolic showdowns. I would love that. But I'm not going to just shill for these games, I ain't going to shill for them. And I know that you can, you could be someone like Dittle, for example, or you could be like these people that just talk out their asses, that shill for these games. And then when you ask them, what did you say wrong? They go, oh, we don't know. But where would that get me in the end? Now, it might get me a code, which I can get anyway. It might get me a plane ticket, which I can pay for anyway. So that ain't me. But we'll see. We'll probably do a Tekken stream tomorrow. But I'll let you guys know. Anyway, I'll leave you with this, and I'll catch you all guys very soon. Take care. And
だが、それでもなぜと言わざるを得ないこともある。君の本質は戦いの中にこそあり、君自身本心では自らの力、そのパワーに惹かれているにもかかわらず、どういうわけか自分を偽ろうとして力を抑えようとしている。なぜだ、なぜだ。そうしていてもお前はただ死にゆくのみ、何も得られない無意味な死だ。行くな。力とは行使して初めて意味を持つ。より強い力、それを持つ者、あるいはそれ自身。世が求めるのは常にそれだ。誰もがより強くありたいと思い、より強い力を求める。何も腕力だけが力ではない。貧しい者より富める者、醜い者より美しい者。誰しも人と己を比べ、わずかでも自分が勝っていれば安心する。そしていつしか己より優れたものを疎ましく感じてくる。存在を許せなくなる。争う。美しさで勝てなければ財力で、それでもダメなら暴力で。その争いのエネルギーこそが世界の動力、世界の要。私はほんの少しその手伝いをしているに過ぎない。争いのエネルギー、破壊のパワー、誰もが抱えるその力は、私が軽く手を加えてやればたちまちこぼれ出し、止めどなく溢れていく。それはいくら組んでも枯れることのない井戸、永遠に掘り尽くせない鉱脈。それを竜